对的。
With the Force 15, you can connect additional expansion batteries to increase the capacity of your energy backup system. Here, you can see one of our Force 15 units connected to 2 Kong Elite. Dad, when you touch the thermostat? Dad, when his Walrus watches the power forward.
What's the rehash gonna be? How many are we gonna attack?
Today, we're going to show you just how easy it is for anyone to save money with the Walrus. First, run a 50 amp extension cable from your home's main electrical panel to the NEMA in port on your Walrus. Not everyone knows this, but your electricity rates change throughout the day. Set your Walrus to charge up during the lowest rate hours of the day in your area. Now, run another 50 amp extension cable from the NEMA out port on your Walrus into the generator port on your home's electric sub-panel. If you already have a sub-panel, you'll need to have
Last live, I don't think you were here, Nick. We started plugging so much stuff. That's the one you're plugging
off the grid and saving you money. Setting up your Walrus like this can save you thousands of dollars per year, but it's even easier to save more if you have solar.
Facing time. Before we leave today, we have to have this lecture here.
Into your Walrus and start
Especially you, Chris.
clean energy. Installing
You're the one who least understands space and time.
Doesn't require any plans. We also offer a 10-year warranty, so check us out at Inverter.com and start saving today.
Is this just another promotional video? Well, maybe.
All right, so we're going live. Someone's in the chat. What's the question on the chat? 6 King Kongs? Yeah, you could definitely do 6 King Kongs.
Unlike anything else out there. If you've been wondering,
you want to let team know to help
how am I going to get into battery
you know what it
backup? It is the future. I made it as
can add
simple
6
as
King Kong
plugging in on this
extreme
side,
batteries to the
20 in on
Walrus.
that side,
Oh,
and
the
getting battery power you need
you could do Kongs with the Arctic? No, the Atlantic.
with solar or
Right, Serdar?
ready. I'm super excited.
Can I do? Can I connect the King Kong to the Walrus Atlantic? Yes, right. Up to 6 of them.
Kilowatt inverter. The inverter sits right on top of the battery unit. But let me just show you what this inverter does that really will
You can connect the King Kong to the Walrus Atlantic. You cannot connect it to the Walrus G2s. They are not the same voltage system, so because of that, they won't match up. So you're better off. The Atlantic is a 48 volt system, similar to the King Kongs, so you can definitely use those as extension packs to be able to get more power out of this. And you want to do 6 of them. So 6 King Kongs plus an Atlantic is going to give you how much? So let's do 7 times 30 because we're going to include the kilowatt hour of the Atlantic. You'd have 210 kilowatt hour, Dave. You'd have, that's kind of a lot. So what kind of building are you trying to power? Is this for your home? Do you have EV chargers? What are you trying to power that makes you need 210 kilowatt hour? That's very good, by the way. That's going to help you go off grid, and that's going to sustain you in a power outage. That'll cover your whole home efficiently. 210 kilowatt hour. If he wants to get this 210 kilowatt hour deal, can we hook him up? We can hook him up, right? Dave, if you call right now, I think they're going to pin the number. If you call the number and tell them I'm on the live chat and I'm talking about adding 6 King Kongs to the Walrus Atlantic, they're going to give you the best deal possible. I don't think anybody's done this before. Nobody's connected this many King Kongs to an Atlantic. So if you want over 200 kilowatt hour worth of battery capacity, call in. That's going to get you the best price possible. That's practically like almost wholesale prices. So call in, call the number, or you can ask another question, or you can let us know what you're trying to power up in here, so we can let people know, you know, how most people don't really know how much battery capacity they really need for their home. So the fact that Dave is doing 210 kilowatt hour, that puts you right in that spot where you're gonna be able to cover your entire house fairly easy. Now, maybe instead of going 6 King Kongs on one Walrus, maybe you could go 2 Walrus Atlantics, so you have 2 inverters, and then you can have 4 King Kongs. Warranty is always going to be 10 years on all the batteries. Warranty is 10 years for all our batteries.
So because Once it's connected to the grid, it's automatically flowing through the battery, charging it, and then out of this
I wonder if Dave's still in the
it's
chat.
going down and going
Dave,
to
are you still in the chat?
second sub-panel. Now, most people would call this a transfer switch, but it's not. This panel is the panel that you install, and you literally
How easy is it for you to switch the screen up on that's like playing behind me, Nick?
But you're not needing to do an actual transfer because the battery does it itself as soon as the main
No,
power
like
is on.
not the graphic, like the you know how there's videos playing?
Oh, yeah.
Everything
That-
still works
Whatever.
because
No,
now
I
the
need to figure
battery
out the
just
plan.
over
How
in
can put the
milliseconds.
plan?
Oh.
We don't have power
But
coming in,
today is
but
not
yet
good
you can
because
see
you
we
guys-
still have
Oh,
power.
Oh yeah.
So one of my
Um,
favorite features of this thing is the actual
What's the difference between the Walrus and the Walrus Atlantic? So the main difference is going to be the battery capacity. So the Walrus G2s have 13 kilowatt hour capacity and the Atlantics start at 30 kilowatt hour capacity. So the Atlantic is a bigger battery system. They also are different voltage systems. So the Walrus G2 has a 72 volt system, whereas the Atlantic has a 48 volt system. So the Atlantic, you can pair it with our other 48 volt batteries to get more battery backup. The Walrus G2, you'd have to use the Walrus extension packs because they're the same voltage. So main difference is the Walrus Atlantic has more battery capacity. So if you have a large home, Lucas, you can, I would recommend you start with the Atlantic because you're gonna get a higher, you're gonna get a higher battery capacity to start. So every time you expand, you always have a you have a head start. Whereas if you get the G2s are very good for battery backup. But as you start to want to stack up more, you'll always need more batteries on the G2 than you would on the Atlantic to cover up less battery capacity. But the G2s are very well priced right now, Lucas. If you want to call in and get a good deal on them, we can do it right now. Which would be better for a house backup? Well, they're both going to be good for a house backup. What we want to know, Lucas, is how large is your home? What's your size? What's your house in square footage? Are we powering the TV behind the battery? I think so. Yeah, I think we plugged it in. Can you even see? Does it even like? Oh, it is plugged in. Does this move? Oh, it moves.
Same battery units. It's all plugged in. Two other features that I got about this battery.
So it is powering the.
It's got 8 times of use.
For the next live, we gotta get a sub panel right here.
Area where your utility charges you
What about a subwoofer?
high demand that it does when it's low.
If anybody wants to see me plug in more things into the unit, or needs to see anything on the unit in specific, let me know and I'll move the unit around.
20 cents per kilowatt.
I'll move the unit around so you could see how it works. So I have the plugs here, and then I have the 110 outlets and the 220 volt outlets.
Just to get your money back on time of use, that's a game changer. Second feature I want to mention
Right, so
is the Wi-Fi capability.
2.2 square foot, but have some large consumption appliances such as induction stove that pulls. Okay, so handlers and heat pumps. Okay, so yeah, he has he's pulling a lot of power. So the thing with these is that the fact that the batteries have enough battery capacity to sustain it is true, but sometimes what you need to focus on also is the inverter, right? So we got the 12K inverter on both the G2s and the Walrus Atlantic. Now for the induction stove, there's a chance that if that one's too high while you're drawing power out of your home, once that induction stove turns on, it could potentially have the inverter shut down to protect the battery, because sometimes there's like a high surge load that comes in, and so to protect itself it kind of like shuts down to protect the battery. So maybe on the induction stove that pulls 4,500 watts, is that too much? Is that too much for a Walrus? He has some large consumption appliances like an induction stove that pulls 4,500 watts on the highest setting. 2 handlers and heat pumps. So he's got like, those are pretty high. Those are high wattage appliances. So if you're running all that on one Walrus, it might not take it, right? It might be too much. Maybe there's a chance here where maybe you could split the load down between 2 Walruses, because what it is, it's the inverter. You'll have enough battery capacity. But even that 4,500 watts, if you were pulling that, I mean, you're not going to run it continuously, but it's probably going to be an inverter thing, Lucas. What you should do, Lucas, is you should call in. Call in the number on the screen, and then we have the technical reps waiting for the calls. Once you could tell them everything that you have, and they'll be able to perfectly spec out what you could use to have this as a battery backup. So it's definitely enough battery backup, but I wonder if the surge load is too high, the inverter might shut down to protect itself. So that's what's more important. And then those heat pumps. Everything you're running, Lucas, is electric. So you have an electric stove, electric heat pump, whole house electricity. So looking either critical load or whole home. Not sure which way to go. Yeah, call in, Lucas. Call in and tell them about what you have set up, and then they'll be able to tell you what they have. The technical team is there, but those heat pumps. When you say 2 air handlers, is that an AC system or is that like some mini splits? What is the 2 air? Usually the mini splits run perfectly fine on a Walrus, no problem. It's usually when you get a AC system that's bigger than 2.5 ton, where the surge load, the load comes in too heavy, where it causes the Walruses to, the inverter doesn't really like it. But that's only on battery backup mode. If you're running it in tangent with AC grid tied, it can handle some of the load. So that's important to know. So call in, mention the fact that you watched the YouTube live, and just because of that, they're going to hook you up more than what's currently on the website. And for anybody who's just joining, that's going to be true for everybody. While the live is available, you're going to be able to get a better deal. Yeah, air handler paired with heat pump for 1 story, 1 for 2nd story. So he's got 2. Air handler. Air handler. I've never heard the word air handler before.
Here we have our inverter's output voltage.
Air handler unit.
Set it to 100 volts.
Oh, okay. So it's like a. Oh, yeah. So this is a pretty big. What's the size on these? 2 ton, 3 ton, 1 ton. A lot of these units are also designed, Lucas, they're designed as battery backups for power outages. So technically when you use these, it's like in an emergency situation. So usually in an emergency situation, it's like maybe you won't run your 5 ton AC or your 4 ton AC. That's when you're gonna need some battery backup for some lights, maybe your refrigerator, maybe like a small AC or heater system and some medical devices. So these work perfectly for that. When you start having higher electric loads, it's important to call in and talk to the technical team to spec it out, because sometimes what happens is that the inverters are designed to, one, be efficient but also be safe. So when too much surge comes in, it naturally will shut itself down to protect itself, right? Now if you know how to split the loads in your electrical wiring from your home, you can manage to reallocate some of that load to different Walrus units. And then it can handle, half and half or whatever, however you want to do it. So the fact that we can get you enough battery capacity to sustain you is true, but it's the inverter, right? Most inverters on the market will tell you the same thing. You'd probably need a much higher inverter to do some of these very high-end, like 3.5 and above, 3.5 ton and above AC units usually. But if you want to have air during your emergency situation, you can always have a mini split or one of those, like just the units, small cooling unit in your home or heating unit. The induction stove could be something similar with that situation. So if you have your whole home wired up and then you fire up that induction stove, it could be a similar situation where it might want to shut down. But if you're grid tied, it will handle some of the load. So your grid will handle some of the load, the battery pack will handle some of the load, so you're not using your full grid's power, so you still lower some of your electric bill. And then during a power outage, obviously you can use it, just don't put it up onto the highest setting for a long time. Right? It's about trying to be efficient with the battery packs. Yeah, call in the tech team. Call in while the live is going on, Lucas. Call. Like, I know you might be like, I'll call back later, but if you call back later, they're not going to be able to give you the deal. So if you call them right now, even if you decide not to buy it now, you might be able to lock in YouTube live pricing. So call in and they'll tell you the specs, and then you can talk with them about how much wattage each thing is having, and then maybe how you can do your sub panel install to cover the size of your home, 2.2 square foot. You could use the G2. I would recommend an Atlantic just because it has more battery capacity, or you could get a G2 with extension and get a good deal on that one. I think that's a pretty good deal. That'll give you 26 kilowatt hour. If anybody has any other questions about the units, you can go ahead and ask it here. It could be helpful to somebody else.
right here, and we put it on wheels. The reason for that is that we did want to make sure that this battery pack could be used portably in case you didn't want to use it as a home battery backup and you wanted to maybe use it as a replacement to a gas or diesel generator. You can take this thing just about anywhere. It'll roll pretty easy, even if it's in a garage or storage. You can just move it to wherever you want it to go. It avoids the need to have to mount it on your wall. So not needing to mount it on your wall, as some of you electricians might know, you wouldn't need to have extra permitting to be able to mount.
If anybody has any questions,
so that's going to be the basic specifications for this Walrus battery. Now on top of that, we did
feel free to ask him here.
how it works, how it's going to work in your home. So we did have a Walrus.
Joe Rodriguez, will soft start on my AC make it easier to add an AC to Walrus? Will a soft start on my AC make it easier? Yeah, actually, yeah. Because it goes back to that critical load. You don't want it to just instantly have a surge of power, right? And so that's how those ACs work. That's why the utility companies love it when you turn your AC on, because they're just going to charge you more money for those kilowatts that you're using. And so if you have a soft start, I mean, it's going to help have a smooth transition into the units. And then if you're grid tied, it can handle the load. Usually when you have a battery, like a full power outage and no AC grid coming in, that's when it's going to be, you want to kind of balance yourself out with either running that AC on a soft start with a on auto. You don't want it to be shutting on and off consistently, because that's what causes that high load of electricity to come in. What is the size of the AC, Joe? Is it 2.5, 3.5? Usually recommend up to 2.5, but I know some homes have bigger ones than that, and some people want to use AC during their power outages or for their home. Mini splits. Mini splits are going to be your key here. So you can install one or two of them in your home. They're relatively inexpensive. So getting one of those for a power emergency would definitely be helpful. If you're trying to keep your whole house cold and lower your electric bills, I mean, maybe not using a central AC system or using it less often would help you there. So you got 3 tons. So Joe, we do have a couple people who are using a 3 ton on this. We recommend up to a 2.5, just to be honest. That's what we recommend here in-house. But there's some people who are using 3 and 3.5 on this. When it's grid tied, it's okay, because again, it uses half the load of your grid, a portion of the grid and a portion of the battery pack. When when the power outages happen, that 3 ton could potentially cause a surge because you're turning it on. But again, if you have a soft start, it could be much more helpful. And then maybe having a do you think that a 5 ton? 5 ton would be too big. The 5 ton for sure too big. We've already had somebody call in for this, and so we recommended them. They wanted AC during power outages. We recommended they use some mini splits in their home. The 5 ton will cause a very high surge load, Sam. So we need to find a way to reroute some of that energy so you can have a battery backup for that. Again, it goes back to the inverter. So the inverter should be stronger to be able to handle those high surges of electricity. But some people during power outages, they'll have their sub panel, they'll keep the 5 ton on the grid and then their entire house on the battery pack, and then that'll lower your bills. And then you could put like 1 or 2 mini splits or some like small AC units in your home in case of a power outage, because that's the whole point here, is that in case of a power outage you want battery backup. If you want to lower your bills daily, you can use this, but 5 ton might be too big, right? If anybody can find an inverter large enough to efficiently handle a 5 ton AC, please let us know in the chat. We'll take a look at it. We'll send it to our R&D team, and we'll see if maybe they can build a Walrus that can handle a 5 ton AC. So if you find anything like that out in the market, it's helpful to us to let us know what you're seeing out in the market, because then, right, we are a manufacturer and distributor, so the fact is that we can potentially make something that's a little more powerful. We also have, if anybody here has commercial businesses and are looking to maybe go lower your electric bills on your commercial building, factory, retail store, whatever it is, we have large commercial battery backups that can help lower your electrical costs, basically making your business more profitable. And during power outages, your machines can keep running, your credit card machines can keep running. You don't have to worry about any of that if there's a power outage. And on top of that, we have some EV chargers. So if you call in and you want some drop-in solutions, so as everybody knows, these EV chargers, the most difficult thing about them is that you have to rewire the infrastructure in your commercial property to be able to
Start saving on utilities,
place an supercharger there. So because of that, that's going to increase your cost because you got to get civil engineers out there. You got to rewire all your wiring. You got to get permits. So we have EV superchargers that use batteries as a buffer, right? So the batteries can store energy. You can charge these on a 110 or 220 volt AC grid, or using solar panels off grid, and then you could trickle charge. The battery will store the energy, and then you could use the EV supercharging speeds to basically deplete and then charge your EV fairly quickly, and then it'll just trickle charge again. So if anybody here has a commercial business, is looking to use EV chargers for their businesses, we have drop-in solutions, so you can avoid needing to go through the long processes of getting approved for like a Tesla supercharger or any of those other units. So you can call in and ask, I need an EV supercharger rep, and they're gonna send you over to them, and then you guys can start the cycle of speccing out your units, right? A lot of people call in and they'll say stuff like, oh, how quickly can I get it? Well, it's like, well, I would love to tell you how quickly you can get it, but the problem is that I don't have the specifications for your location, right? Like, what are you trying to do? If you just tell me you want one EV charger, well, then we can get you a deal on one EV charger and we'll ship it to you. But obviously, we got to figure out like how many cars you're trying to charge, how you plan on wiring this thing, you know, where you're gonna set it down, things like that. So that's why you need to call in and talk to an EV charger rep, so you can get that profile built out. And once you have the profile built out, we'll know exactly what to ship you, where to ship it, and what to do with that. Do you think? But yeah, 5-ton AC is definitely going to be big, Sam. You should probably call in, talk to a rep. I still think that if you have a 5-ton AC, you probably have a very large home. So if you want to still use a battery backup, the Walrus Atlantic is still going to be a good way to start lowering your bills and have a battery backup, right? If you have a 3-ton to 5-ton AC, I'd assume you have a pretty large home, especially 5-ton. You probably have like a 3 to 4,000 square foot home. So be able to utilize that 5-ton. 3-ton again, Joe, is not too bad. You could get away with it, but I am supposed to recommend up to a 2.5 ton.
And attach the washer to the top of this.
This brace will be mounted and screwed onto the metal brackets connected to the secure metal rod. Every battery Evo battery kit comes with a bus bar,
2.5 ton.
which will be secured to the top of the battery brace and secured with a screw into the top of the brace in order to provide stability. Once the bus bar is secured, the Anderson to ring terminal cables will be plugged into the batteries and connected to the bus bar to the appropriate terminals, positive to positive and negative to negative. The controller of the golf cart we received had crimped ends with a ring terminal connection already installed.
Wow.
These ring terminal ends will be attached to the bus bar. The Anderson to Anderson plug connections were mounted to the rear of the housing on the appropriate mounting locations and secured with a screw. With these steps complete, you've installed your batteries into the housing and will be able to provide power to the golf cart's motor. With a club car, you're going to have to replace the charging port. The plastic covering around the base of the golf cart must be removed. Once the covering is removed, the existing charging port must
So if anybody's trying to get a good deal, did you already explain the difference between Atlantic and Arctic? We did. It's up in the chat. I don't know if my moderators are putting the answers in here. But the difference between the two is the battery capacity. So they have the same inverter. So the inverter works exactly the same, but the G2 is a 72 volt system utilizing 13 kilowatt hour worth of battery capacity. The Atlantic is a 48 volt system that has 30 kilowatt hour worth of capacity. Both of these units are expandable, so you can always add on more battery packs to get more battery capacity. Oh wait, Atlantic and Arctic, my bad. The Atlantic is the 12K inverter with the 30 kilowatt hour, and the Arctic is an 8 kilowatts or 10K inverter with 15.5 kilowatt hour. Those are the differences. So the Atlantic has double the capacity, and it has a higher rated inverter. So especially if you have that 3-ton AC, I would recommend using a higher inverter. It's the inverter, right? So when it comes, so every time we're talking about batteries here, and anybody's online searching batteries, everybody's gonna throw different specs at you, right? So they're all gonna try to throw different specs at you to try to tell you like one thing or the other. The main thing to remember is that when we're talking about the capacity of the battery, it's kilowatt hour, kWh. That's going to be the amount of battery capacity you have, right? Kind of think about it like your car's fuel tank. If you have a 30-gallon gas tank, that's your capacity, right? The inverter is what's going to be able to move the power back and forth. So whenever you have a higher inverter, you're going to be able to handle more appliances, right? You're going to be able to get more higher appliances attached to it. If it's a smaller inverter, once that surge comes in, it's going to, you know, that's what the differences are. So the Arctic has half of the battery capacity as the Atlantic. So if you're looking at getting one of these, Joe, you should call the number that I have on the screen. I have reps waiting for calls. You can talk to them about your setup, how you want to do it. They'll help you out through it, and they're going to hook you up for the YouTube Live. So remember, you're always going to get a special deal because you're calling during the YouTube Live. So the sale's gonna end probably tomorrow because it's Prime Day sales. Joe, I think what you should do is you should call in because yeah, we have the Prime Day sale till tomorrow, but what's gonna happen is that you're not gonna be able to take advantage of the YouTube Live deal. So we have the deals going on, but they're always gonna scrape some extra cash off of that because you're calling during the YouTube Live. So even if you're not ready to buy right now, Joe, call in so you can get in contact with a rep. They're gonna have your name, they're gonna have your number, and they're gonna know the unit you want. Tell them you watch the YouTube Live. Because of that, they're going to give you the YouTube Live deal. It'll be a custom order, right? There's no discount code I can offer you. I mean, even if I wanted to, it doesn't exist, right? So you have to call during the YouTube Live, and then they're going to be like, okay, they'll mark it for you, and then they'll talk with you about what your setup's going to be. And from there, we can, they'll be able to get you a good deal. They'll be able to get you a good deal. Okay, so the sale will end on the 17th, most likely. So call in, lock it in. If anybody here has anything, want to talk about a battery that's not the Walrus, we can do so. Remember, we have golf cart batteries. We have smaller batteries that you can use for like small sheds or power up, whatever, like small projects, maybe like an RV or a trailer or a small garage unit. Maybe some people want to do some ADUs, but they don't really know how to get power there, and they're trying to set up ADUs, and the utility company won't come out and hook you guys up, right? This is going to be a way. I'm thinking about getting an ADU. Can we put anything on that screen up there, Nick, behind me? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be in frame, though. Huh? I want to put like one of those like ADU like off-grid kind of setups, the ones that are like really cheap. I think they have them on Amazon. So I don't know if anybody's seen these, but they have like these like tiny homes or whatever they are, but they're like foldable. They come like in a container, but it's like half, and then they open it up. And so I've been thinking about getting something like that, and then just throw some off-grid panels on top of that, and then throw in a Walrus in there, and then you got power. You got power in the unit. Now you got to figure out water. So they haven't figured out off-grid water yet, but if you can find a way to get access to some type of well, I think there's some, I don't know what it's called. I don't know if anybody in here has heard of it, but there's like this thing where it like collects the air, and then it like, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and then it makes it into water. So if anybody's trying to go off grid, let us know how you're doing it. Let us know how you're going off grid.
Now to remove this cable and move these two. So we can easy. Okay, before I take my T40 star wrench and take this bolt out, if you ever have to replace the OBC right here, you'll need this number which is in the bottom right hand side, passenger side. It'll say PN and then about 5 digits, 5 numbers. You need that number. You can press one, use multiple ones, different models. So let's go take
If anybody, oh, you know what's going on? I don't have my tracks. I was like, why does today's live feel a little bit like we need Nick's AI album playing?
forward.
That's why. Let me find them.
Controller.
Is that okay? That's one of them. That's one of them.
Illinois.
Can you see it? Is it on screen? Yeah, I don't think you can see it. Let's see if I can.
Back in the OBC.
All right, tell me where to move the TV.
Now what we're
It's in frame.
concerned with,
Oh, maybe I gotta move the camera.
black wires go in, back to the
Put Amazon house. I think that's like a better keyword.
one,
I think it's like Amazon house or something like that.
B minus or battery negative on the controller.
I think that'll work better.
One goes back to here, goes all the way to the negative.
So we're gonna play some tracks.
This cable,
We're gonna play the Walrus album.
two options. Either unplug it, then run this wire.
Yeah, like something like that. Like that one, exactly that one. That's the thing that I've been looking at online. And so basically, if you had something like that, like how are you gonna get power into there? Right? The utility company's gonna have to come and they're gonna basically tell you, there's no way we can do this. We're not putting power on this thing. Yeah, that's a dream build. So now these guys are gonna unfold it. Can you even see it on screen?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So
This one here, this OBC is actually
imagine if you had this. How are you gonna get power into this thing? Right? You could just get 10 450 watt solar panels, plug in a Walrus G2, and that should be able to easily power that thing.
with the battery.
You know? Now stove, maybe you're gonna need a small stove or something, and then you probably put, yeah, you're gonna need one of those small AC units for the inside to keep it cool. What about like,
Well, I hope today's episode
there's gotta be ventilation, right? So maybe you could,
is helpful. Main thing is
like, how would you get air in and out from there?
These are pretty
Oh, maybe through the window? You could do one of those, you could do one of those where, you know what I'm talking about, where you put the AC through the window?
Yeah.
And then just plug that into the Walrus and you got AC. Dude, I gotta get one of those.
Or technically, if you live in a more dry area, you can do a swamp cooler. It pulls even less than an AC.
A swamp cooler?
Yeah, the evaporated one, so water trickles down the cardboard and pulls air through. It's like 1/3 of the draw of an AC. Some people use it mainly like in drier states like here in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
It saves a lot on AC.
Got it.
So it's one of the options, cooling options.
I know nothing about this golf cart other than it does not run. It has 2022 batteries in it. Here, we need to probably need to do some wire management there, clean it up pretty well. It does have an Ultrax controller and a plum quick motor in it. It was told to be running when parked.
If anybody's outside of California, we're located in California,
Not sure
and you think your state's better, can you let us know? Can you let us know why you think it's better?
whatnot, which is expected.
Let us know why your state is better than California, and I just want to know. And then we could see. I mean, I think in terms of what you spend on electricity, most states are probably going to be better.
We got some stuff here. Don't understand. Why it's like that. Anyways, I think one of the first things I'm gonna do is remove the dash from it. Get out of the way. Tired of looking at that. It is raining. The reason it's raining is because the day is. We're supposed to be getting that part of that storm, a Delia or whatever it's called.
I need my music, man. Where's my tracks?
Tires look pretty decent.
Oh, here go songs.
Well,
All right, so I don't know if anybody. It's okay. We just have stuff playing in the background. If anybody wants to ask,
with a brush.
you've seen these, right? Fred, you seen these?
Clean up that wire management there. And,
So how would you, if you had this, how would you power it?
Oh, because I have a mini split. That's perfect.
Right? This is easy, right?
Yeah, you can just put the shed and then put the Walrus here and connect it to the main, to the electrical panel, and that's all you can do.
How much you think? How much you think you could get this going if you bought one of these storage things and put a battery and solar panels? Like 30K total?
For this, so this is a 1 bedroom. You probably run 50K in LA, and then these are not expensive, $500 each. And then that's all. You just have to find out the drainage for the water and sewage.
Yeah, that's all you need. Hot water.
And yeah, but the electricity you can take care of it. The sewage they can take care of by themselves, and the water pump and the water tank they can take care of that. The only thing is in the battery pack here, and then install it and use it.
And then, but what about in terms of appliances? Once you could have a small AC, which isn't going to draw too much power. But what about like stove and stuff?
Yeah, you can do it. The stove
Small
is
stove?
fine. Yeah, stove is fine. They usually run it around. If you're running 4 burners, usually around 6,000 watts. With this, which is around 1,000 watts, if you run in the mini split, the one single mini split is 1,000 watts, and a 4 burner. If you run 4 burner at the same time, which usually not happen.
Yeah.
Usually running 1 or 2, and that will be able to carry on with the rest of the lighting, including the TVs. And fridge and refrigerator and all the computer stuff, even the bedroom lighting or downstairs. I mean,
Well, there's no downstairs. It's
yeah,
ones, yeah.
well, some of them they have a double actually. They have two stories upstairs, downstairs. These are from
Oh yeah, I've seen
containers,
those.
isn't it? The
Yeah, it's the
containers?
container. Yeah.
Yeah, they have 2 stories. So this one, yeah, this is easy. This is very easy.
You could just put this in your backyard, right?
If
And
you can, yes, definitely, of course. These one has a tile too.
this is nice.
Yeah, maybe the PVC tiles, but yeah. These are good units. What country's from?
Country?
This one.
I don't know. We just put random videos right now, but I was showing everybody the Amazon house.
Oh yeah.
You've seen that one, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can do that. Definitely.
We should bring one in here and wire it up.
Yes, definitely. Yes, I will think so. Yeah, I will look on that. Yeah, definitely.
Let's bring one in here. So if anybody's trying to get a deal on a Walrus unit or any other unit,
This is area code.
remember we have other battery backups that you can call in about. And I have the technical team here on standby. In the meantime, I guess I'll just put my songs back on. Do you have new tracks, Nick?
Welcome to Battery Evo.
Let's make some tracks. This is, I think, still my favorite. It's still July, so it's still 4th of July to me.
Is an all-in-one
So, you know,
Let me tell you about a system called the Walrus. It's a wonderful machine.
oh, you see how this one, when I click on it, just,
Let me tell you about a system called the Walrus. It's a wonderful machine that benefits all of us. Inverter on the top, battery on bottom. Power your whole home, appliances, all of them. Off-grid living, it feels so good going green for our planet.
so Brian is asking if we make our own inverters on the all-in-one units or are they bought out. No, we make them. So they are made for the Walruses. So these inverters are made for the Walruses. But I think if you'll go online, we have the Atlantic inverter head, and it's just the inverter. It's just the top, like literally just the top piece. And that's just an inverter. I mean, if you can figure out a way to wire that up to some batteries, you can. Or maybe you wanted an extra inverter for whatever reason, you could just use the head on the Atlantic. But yeah, we made those. We are for larger commercial type buildings. We do have some inverters with some partners, so to make larger ones. But these ones are made here, so everything here is warranted by us. So if anything goes wrong with them, you can call in and they'll troubleshoot here if something were to go wrong, and with anything inside of it. I don't think I can open this one because this one's sealed.
Charging your Walrus. In the nighttime when you're home powering your devices, you can have
We should maybe have one of these opened up here. Maybe we could just, but this one's sealed up. It's still wrapped, so maybe we won't unseal it. But yeah, everything inside is pretty modular, Brian, on the inside of that thing. So if anything goes wrong, instead of having to ship the battery pack back and forth, the techs could just troubleshoot you, and then they can send you the parts that you need, and everything could be swapped out pretty easy. There's some videos. I think people have been watching the videos on the Walruses, Nick. I think we got to update all the videos because they've been calling and saying that the specs don't match the videos to what's on the website. That's because we made those videos when we had the other Walrus. So now these are the Walrus G2s. So these have the updated inverter, same battery capacity. Yeah, so just in case you're seeing that on the videos, the information on the website is updated to the most recent stuff. But yeah, Brian, what are you trying to power like what is it? Is it your home? Are you trying to do off grid? How do I get 13K of solar? That's gonna depend. Places. I think Places was in here last time. I think it was in here last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. 13K worth of solar. That's gonna be based on the solar panels, right? So if you want 13 kilowatts worth of solar, I mean, if you're running 450 watt panels, you're gonna need. You just gotta multiply. So I don't know. You're gonna need quite a few. So if you do 13,000 watts, over here doing math, 13,000 divided by 450, you would need about 28 panels. 28 panels of at 450, or you can get 13 panels at 1,000 watts each. 13K worth of solar. If you're gonna try to power that into a Walrus, what you gotta anticipate is not even so much the kilowatts worth of solar. You gotta anticipate the voltage. So when you're running these solar panels in series, you gotta make sure that when you're running them in series to not exceed 230 volts per Walrus. So some people they have like 30 panels, and they're like, well, can I plug that all into one Walrus? It's like, well, if it doesn't exceed the voltage, you could. But if you have more voltage than what each Walrus can take, you should get another all-in-one unit and then basically collect more solar. So the idea here is that when you have solar panels on your roof, especially if you're doing off-grid, you are basically your own power plant, right? You have power going in those panels all day that the sun's out. So if you're not collecting that power, it's just being dispersed and being lost. If you're grid tied, if you're paying the utility company for your solar panels or using the grid with your solar panels, the utility company is taking all the power. They're taking the power that you're collecting on the roof, and then they're charging your neighbors for it. So it's like, imagine you have panels, your neighbor doesn't have panels, they're taking your solar and then charging your neighbor for it. So it's like you're the power plant for them. So instead of letting all that solar go back, store it. Store it for yourself. Store it for yourself, and then in case of a power outage, you have power backed up. Because as everybody, I don't know if anybody knows, or if you do know, you probably do know, if you have solar panels and you're currently grid tied, if the power cuts out, those solar panels will not have power for you. The power will not go in, the power will not go out because the grid is cut. So the solar panels are connected to the grid, and so the main electrical panel, your meter, has been shut down. So as the power comes in, it's just gone. It's not going nowhere. So because you have the battery packs, you stored it while the grid was still on, and then if the grid cuts out, the Walrus will kick in and power your home, right? And then when the power comes back on, it just goes back to normal. In a long power outage, like what's happening in Texas for the hurricane, that's where battery capacity is going to come into play. The more battery capacity, the better, the more longevity you're going to have, right? You want more battery capacity. That's why it's good to start with the Atlantic and work your way up. The G2s is a great way to get a lower priced battery backup, and you can always get extensions. If anybody here wants more than 26 kilowatt hours or more worth of battery capacity, call in during the YouTube live. I'll make sure they give you a deal because you want more than 26 kilowatt hour. So that includes the Atlantic or a Walrus with 2 extensions, or even if you get 2 Walruses, I'll make sure that they quote you with a deal that's better than on the website if anybody wants 2 of these, right? Why would you need 2 of these? Let's say you have a large home. You could use the sub panels to basically bring in the solar, charge up 2 units, and then distribute the load of your home to 2 units so you create more efficiency in your battery backup system. Please call, email us updated. Yeah, so please call or email us about the updated tracking number. Okay, so Places is gonna get their Atlantic on Friday. When you get that Atlantic, take pictures of it. Send them into the team here, because we could post this on YouTube and stuff. And because of that, I think I could approve them to send you maybe a small gift card or something for getting us those photos and allowing us to put them on our socials. And if you leave a review, I'll have them send you a gift card. So do I have to activate the Walrus during a power outage, or will it switch itself? It'll switch itself using the built-in UPS. So if anybody's worried about, like, if the power goes out, you don't have to run over to your electrical panel and start shutting off breakers and turning breakers on. You don't got to do any of that, right? So built-in UPS works the same way like those small power banks for your computer work, right? Where if the power cuts out, your computers keep running. Same thing. It's got built-in UPS. So once that we should probably, we really need a sub panel here. Either that or we gotta start doing these downstairs. But Sardar, install a sub panel for us, please. On live for everybody to see. How good are you? Can you do it? All right, never mind. So Jesse went ahead and put he went ahead and found the discount code for everybody, Prime 47 for extra 47% off. So that's gonna be the deal till tomorrow. But here's the thing: if you call in right now, they're gonna hook you up. That's the whole point of the. Oh, I gotta put my tracks back on. I forgot about the tracks. So you gotta call in during the YouTube live. If you're gonna be like, how do I get the best deal possible? That's it. That's it. Call in during the YouTube live, right? Some of you have probably came in here a couple different times. So you've seen us do this, and you've seen people calling in and getting good deals. So, you know, as long as we can continue to help everybody answer their questions, then, you know, that's all we're trying to do. So, have batteries already work with your inverter combo? If I have batteries already, will it work with your, does your battery Evo have? Yes, so we have a couple. So the UL stuff, it's gonna be something, Brian, where everything's being worked on. Obviously, we're consistently making new product. I don't know if I should tease it here. Should I tease it? Should I tease it? What's coming? Huh? So I don't know if anybody's seen our socials, but did that go up? Did the thing go up on our socials? That it's coming? So as everybody knows, we have animal products. All of our batteries have animals. So we have a new product that's going to be dropping very, very soon. So in short, yes. In short, yes. UL listed is coming. We do have UL listed commercial batteries as well. So if you have farms, agriculture, large manufacturers, right? So in short, yes, right? So just stay tuned. If that's what you're interested in, it will be here soon. As of right now, it's just a teaser, right? That's just a teaser. So once it comes out, you guys can see the specs. I mean, everybody knows that we're always trying to give you the best price per kilowatt hour in the markets. So you can always anticipate that. So if you're wondering like how much is the battery capacity going to be and the inverter going to be, you can use the Walruses as kind of like a guide as to what we're doing with that new unit, right? So everything is being R&D'd and constantly being tested. So new products that get developed will have newer stuff in them, and we anticipate that we build them for the American markets. So if that's something that you're looking for, just stay tuned. As of right now, again, I can only tease it, but if that's what you're looking for, call in and tell them that you're interested in it, and then we could put you on a list. We could put you on an email list, and when that drops, you could be the first one to receive a text or an email about it. You could read all the specs, get pricing, and you can call in and be like, hey, I saw this first on the YouTube live, right? So okay, see, so we do have 48 volt inverter. If I have batteries already, will it work the inverter combo? So yeah, so hits differently. That's a really good username. Hits differently. So if you already have batteries, it might not work with the Walruses right away, because depends on what systems you're running there. We do have some inverters online. So if it's a 48 volt system, we do have 48 volt inverters online. If they're not 48 volt inverter, call in, because we have 12 volt and 48 volt, and I think that's it, 12 and 48 volt inverters. So you got to find out which voltage system you're running to be able to find the inverter for you. If anybody's just joining, this is the YouTube live, so you can find out about the Walruses or any other battery packs that you might have seen on our website. You might know that it's Prime Day deals, so everyone's going to get free shipping, and then everything's discounted, right? And I know everybody wants a good deal, so while we still have some units left, we might not have any more soon. So this YouTube live is intended to help you answer your questions, show you the units, show you the Walrus album, and if you want a good deal, you have to call in. Because if you call in during the YouTube live, we have the reps just chilling there waiting for your calls, and if you say, hey, I saw the YouTube live, I heard the Walrus album, they're going to give you an extra, they're going to scrape more money off of that deal. But it can only be done during the YouTube live. So even if you're not really ready to buy just yet, call in and try to lock in the pricing, because once these units are gone, I won't be able to approve new discounts for anybody. Let's see. Let's hit. It's still 4th of July to me. I think so. Celebrating our independence. So I have to hit it with the country song. If anybody likes a specific type of genre, let me know and I will put the genre on.
Let me tell you about a system called the Walrus. It's a wonderful machine that benefits.
Can we go live on Facebook?
Inverter on the top,
On this thing?
battery on bottom, power your whole home, appliances, all of them. Off-grid living, it feels so good, going green for our planet, just like you should. With time of use settings, more money in your pocket, buy a Walrus and your family is stocked up. We got the R-Kit, plug it in and start it. Fast shipping to your crib, best prices on the market, wheels on your carpet, power your...
Sidra, I don't know this question. They're asking me, they have a 48 volt. Are your inverters high or low frequency? The inverter. Not these, the other ones. Low, right? Low frequency? But he's asking if it's high or low frequency. So it hits differently. The moderators will probably in the chat let you know, but I'm asking anyway. High or low frequency inverters? Let me know. Type it in the chat. Let them know. And if you have a genre, a song, music genre, let me know, and let's see if I have a Walrus song for it. And then call in. I mean, we're giving deals on the Walruses, but call in for your inverter system. They're gonna tell you all the specs, and then they're gonna give you a deal on it. Just tell them you heard the Walrus tracks. They're gonna hook you up. I told them to hook everybody up. Also, we're working on the spot. Can we spam the Spotify account yet? Or no? Does your inverter have a surge rating? I believe it does. I'm gonna see if my moderators could get you guys the specs. So if you go online, the specification sheets should be on there. What is this? We're going Instagram?
Facebook.
Only FB or IG too?
FB right now.
Can we go IG?
Yeah. I'll look that up on Meta Business.
How are we gonna get
You're
people to
live
see
on
this?
Facebook right now.
All right. See if you can get up a post up, Nadine, letting people know we're on live on YouTube and Facebook and whatever else. This one is, I don't know. I don't like this one. I can see myself too clearly. Can we shrink this up and put it up here so it's at the same angle? So if you're gonna hop off of YouTube, we're gonna be on Facebook and maybe IG in a bit. What socials are people using? What is everybody using right now? Is anybody in here into video games? We're gonna make a Battery Evo esports team. Everybody keeps telling me not to do it, but that's exactly why I'm going to do it. So if anybody here plays video games in the evenings, Elden Ring I think is the newest game. So if anybody plays any games and is looking to maybe learn about going off grid, but they don't want to do it over the phone and they want to do it over a Fortnite lobby or an Elden Ring lobby or what's another good game?
But for me, you won't be able to read the chat, huh?
It's okay. What's another good game? Forza esports. Oh no, simulation racing, right? Sim racing. Let us know. We're gonna set those handles up, and then why do we have to do a phone call? We could just run duos. So but you guys gotta let me know if I can find enough interest in this. We're gonna set up a Battery Evo esports team. So imagine a sim racing event. All the electricity comes from the Walruses. So if hits differently, if those specs is what you were looking for, call in. I want them to give you a good deal on these. Most people call in about the Walruses, but I mean, the fact that you're asking about the inverters is pretty cool. If anybody wants to see anything on the unit, you have to let me know, and I'm just going to rotate it around and show everybody how to use it. It's pretty simple. If you know anybody or anybody here is from Texas and they just experienced that power outage, or you know anybody going through that, call in and let us know. And we're going to try to give those people in Texas a little bit of priority in terms of pricing and delivery times, just because we know that, if you're experiencing a power outage like that, that's never fun. And so being able to get power up, especially some people have medical devices that need to be on, right? So if you know anybody that's in this situation, senior home, senior living, medical conditions that require power units that shouldn't be shut off, call in, and you know, we're gonna give you guys discounts for that. You know, the whole point here is that we need to help provide people with power. Everybody knows what's going on with the grid. Everybody sees the news. Everybody knows what's going on. The utility companies are charging everybody more and more money. It's getting more, everything's becoming EV, everything's becoming electricity. So what is your off-grid power plan? I just showed everybody the Amazon house that I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy a storage container, put some solar panels on top, put some places. We do have referral programs, so if you can get somebody who wants one of these, have them call in and mention your name, and then we'll see what we could do with that referral for you. Okay, let everybody know, right? Like when that power goes out, I mean, in my neighborhood, we have planned outages because of the fires. Once it goes out, it goes dark. The whole neighborhood is out, you know? So, and the issue is also those solar panels, right? When you're grid tied, that power doesn't come in. So, you know, using a battery pack as a buffer is gonna be the best bet. And maybe a lot of you are looking at gas and diesel generators. Those are good too for backups. But again, what about your long-term strategy? If you get that gas, let's put it into perspective. Let's say you get a gas generator, you get the best one in the market, and you're using it for backup, but you have like a statewide or citywide blackout like they're having in Texas. A lot of those like gas pumps run on electricity too. So if they don't have power either, I mean, maybe they have backups, maybe they don't, but you won't be able to pump the gas out. And once you're out of fuel, you're out of fuel. Right? So instead of trying to think about it like one versus the other, you should always consider it as a companion. People call in and they say, I have the power wall. Why is this better? Or why is this different? Or why is this, like, why would I need it if I already got a power wall? Well, here's the thing. The power wall is also grid tied, right? So you shouldn't be trying to think about this as a one-to-one comparison. It's not that type of product. You should be thinking about it as a companion. Right? I mean, if you can only buy one, I would say buy the thing that's probably the best in your budget, right? That's going to give you the power you need for whatever problem you're having. But if you're like, I have a generator, I have a Tesla Powerwall, all right, same thing with that Tesla Powerwall. Your grid cuts out, you're not going to get power back in that thing. It's just not going to happen. The grid's cut out. So this should be a companion. You could have a Tesla Powerwall and you could have one of these. And then when that thing goes out, you could use this to basically power your home in an emergency. You know what I mean? We go back to the ADU thing. Maybe you want to build an ADU, but the biggest problem with those ADUs is that, like, how are you going to get resources to it? How are you going to get water to it? How are you going to get electricity to it? And if your best bet is to call your local utility company, I mean, you all know how that's going to go. Slow process. You're going to need permits. You're going to have so many things in your way. If you really just want to set up, especially some of the states like in the South, in the Midwest and Mideast, you guys don't really have a lot of regulations like they do in some other states. So you guys could set up these ADU dwellings, slap some Walruses on them, get some solar panels, which again, we have partners that you can have them ordered for you, deliver them to you, and you got free energy, right? Is there a code for the Rhino? There should be a code for the Rhino. Is it Go Rhino? I don't think it's Go Rhino. Go Rhino is not the code. I think it's Prime Day code. There should be something with Prime. If you have the Rhino, Hairless Monkey Productions, crazy name as well. I gotta say them out loud because that's a good one. Production, that's your world, Nick. Hairless Monkey Productions. Do you run a production company? Do you have any questions about how you can use it on film shoots? If Hairless Monkey Productions, are you familiar with this company, Atlas Lens Co? Atlas Lens Co? No, that's still not the same code. We have a Prime Day code for this, I think. I think that's the wrong information.
Walrus, why don't you take this one?
Call in about those rhinos, and I'm gonna have them give you a better deal than whatever they're telling you now.
And then,
Oh, I think it is Summer 10 actually. Summer 10. Prime 20. Prime 20 is the code. Put that in there. Rhino 3-4, but that's for the 4X car kit, so that's 62 kilowatt hour. Okay? So here's the thing. We started doing this thing. If you look at the pricing on our website, if you get more batteries bundled together, you're going to get a better price. So it's buy more, save more, basically. Right? So if you're looking to get a better deal on your kilowatt hour consumption, you should be looking to get more batteries. Now, if you're like, I can't afford it because it's too much, call in. Just call in. The YouTube Live is designed to hook you up. So I know you're asking what the code is. It's Prime 20. You can use that up until tomorrow. That's on the 4X car kit. That's 20% off of $12,399. 20% has got the math on that.
appliances.
Nobody's got the math on that?
So if that'd be your tools, I don't know, maybe
What is it? $2 grand off? It's like two. Yeah, right.
So
Oh no, it's like 1,000 off. No, it's like 2 grand off. It's 12,399 with a 20% discount. It should be like 21550.
you'll be able to use this PV cable to be able to directly
Yeah, it's like a little over $2,000 off on the 4X car kit. That's 62 kilowatt hour. So that's gonna be a good deal. But call in. There you go. Prime 20 works. But Hairless Monkey, before you use it, call in. Let them make you a custom order. We're gonna scrape a little bit more off. You know, I mean the deal is great. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna be available till tomorrow. But the whole point is that you're on the live. So use the live. And then again, what kind of production are you doing? Are you what is your production? Damn, $2,479 off with Prime 20. That's a hooked up deal.
right into this
What?
battery pack. Those of you who don't have solar panels, there might be
This is too much math for me,
settings
though.
when the electricity costs are lower at certain times. You'll be
Oh, I
able
see.
to use this to be able to
Okay,
charge
cool,
the
thanks.
Walrus during your lowest peak rate.
So Hairless Monkey Productions, what are you working on right now? Like, are you making movies, TV shows? What is it? We went to Cinegear. We retrofitted a production set cart with our batteries, and we took a Walrus Force 15K down there, and we were at Cinegear. We were showing production companies how this works for a production set. So, you know, again, just because you're asking questions and trying to figure out what you're trying to power, that helps other people get an idea, right? I've been trying to figure out that ADU dwelling for a couple months now. I think I've figured out what I'm gonna do. So by people asking questions, it helps us figure out like where you're at with in your energy adventure, right? Where are you? In the meantime, I guess we can go back to the tracks. Nobody's giving me a genre, a music genre, you know, recommendation here. Where's that soul song? That one's sick. I think it's this one.
But not every home has a sub panel. So whether you're going off grid or grid tied, this is still something you have to do.
Just call the number. Yes. Call the number. If it doesn't get through, there's probably people on the phone now because they've been calling in. But call the number, try to get through, and tell them, hey, I'm watching the YouTube live. I heard the Walrus album. Tell them that. Tell them, hey, I heard the Walrus album. Just because of that, they're gonna hook you up. I'm gonna tell them to hook you up. You know, if you wait now, you could still always use that 20% off. I mean, that's available to you, to everybody. But because you have a very specific thing you're trying to get, call in. They're waiting for you. Tell them you heard the Walrus album. I want them to I want them to be on the phone confused. Be like, hey, I heard the Walrus album.
And it's time to grab. Turn your panels into gold. Every angle shining gold. Power outage. Don't fear with your Walrus. Keep it clear. It's so clear. All our systems cheer. Batteries top tier.
Can we get the other phone and go on IG Live? Are there people in here? Oh, I'm gonna have to move this one around. Let me just get this. The tripod's kind of too big, huh? Thanks for sending the cable. Everything's working. So we have two lives going on. We have the Facebook and the YouTube live. So if I missed your questions here, I apologize. We're trying to figure that out. Oh yeah, that's way better. Try to see if you can go live through the Meta Business Suite, and I think it'll let you go live on both. I think, I don't know. So since this one's already here, we can just use that one with this. Just snap it on, like around the little gauge. And then we need to turn around just so that it's on our post. Because if we don't turn around, it's just on.
During peak hours, commonly between 4 4 and 8 p.m., your electricity costs can be up to 30 to 60% higher than usual. Your energy prices drop off during off-peak hours, which is usually in the middle of the night. Here's how you turn this insider info into savings with a home battery backup system.
If anybody has any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna play the Walrus album in the meantime. If there's anything anybody wants to see on the units,
Set up your Walrus to save. Program your Walrus unit to charge during this cheaper off-peak. It's like setting a
if anybody's just joining now, ask a question about the Walrus. I got you. We have moderators in the chat that can answer your questions. If you know anybody who's, if you're from Texas or anybody who's experiencing the power outages in Texas, call in and let's try to get you guys some power over there. I mean, I don't know. I think everybody should be trying to go off grid. I'm trying to come up with my off grid solution. I was showing everybody earlier, if you're just joining those container homes, and basically, I mean, this is a good way to get started on off grid. You know, connect some solar panels. I gotta find a way to be able to screen share with everybody so I can show like as I'm explaining it to them. So we'll figure that out. Hey, so again, if you call in right now while the YouTube is going on, you're gonna be able to get an extra, just a little bit extra deal, right? So we have the Prime Day deals; those are really good. But just call in during this live. This live won't go on for too much longer. But if you have any questions or if you're just joining, remember I can show you the units. It's right here. I can move it. I can plug things into it. Last time we did it, we plugged in like 42. No, how many did we plug in? I'm about to straight lie and say I did 42 stuff. We used every single port. And if you're wondering how, like if you're like a construction company or like you want to use this for something that's not your home, like we got 220 volts up on the front, and then you got like one of these. Like you just use like one of these kind of guys, and then it's just 220 volts, and then you could plug it right into the front of it. Jeez, I have everything on the ground. Right, you could just plug right into it. Do you guys want to start plugging stuff into this? Dude, we have not charged this once since we started doing the live. We still have... So we've been using this same Walrus for every single live we've been going on, which has been about 2-3 weeks now. And we still have 40% capacity. And I don't even think when we had it got in here it had 100%. I think we had it at around 70%. We had it at around 70% capacity, 60% capacity, and we've been using it on every single live to plug stuff into it, show people how to use it, and we still have 40% capacity. So that just goes to show like most appliances in your home don't even take up that much power. We are off grid most of the time. Rick, where are you going off grid? What state and city are you in? And then how are you doing it? How are you going off grid? What is your setup? This live on here on this left hand side is what? Nick, what's this one?
That's a meta business, so it's on Facebook.
Oh, okay. So we got another thing going on. So Rick, you're going off grid most of the time. How are you doing that? What are you using? I mean, obviously you probably got some solar panels. What do you have? Ambler, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, PA. What do they got going down in Pennsylvania? I'm gonna look up off-grid house in Pennsylvania. So it seems like I'm looking up right now off-grid living in Pennsylvania, and they already got off-grid, how to live off-grid in Pennsylvania, essential tips. What's the solar index there? Oh, they got land for sale. Look, you get 55 acres in Pennsylvania for $499,000. You couldn't buy a 2,000 square foot home in the California at this price. So if you're living in one of these large acreage farms or like land, you could lay out so many solar panels. go off grid forever. Maybe even, you know, if you're savvy enough, you know, pass some of that power on to something else. Wow, look, 121 acres in Pennsylvania for $637,000. This house looks like a camp. 25 acres in Clinton County for $186,500. Can you believe that, Nick? Pennsylvania. Wow. We need to start buying land. Oh, okay. So Rick actually has solar and some Evo batteries. He did all the work himself. Wow. You should take some pictures of that setup. Send them in, and we're gonna get you an Amazon gift card. Take a picture of what you did. Oh yeah, that's expensive. Oh wait, he's saying that the prices hit. So the one I just saw now. So I see 25 acres in Clinton County in Beach Creek, Pennsylvania for $186,500. Posted 2 months ago. That's I don't know if that's cheap or not. I would think it is. I don't even know what like the expensive cities in Pennsylvania are. So Rick actually did all the work, charging 2 EVs, running the whole place. He's running 0 emissions. Savage. Rick, if you can call in and if you could take some pictures, leave a review on our Google or on our website. Call in and let them know you did. I'm gonna see if they can send you an Amazon gift card. I mean, Prime Day, you know, there's sales everywhere. And just for leaving some reviews for orders that are verified, let's try to see if we can get you an Amazon gift card.
The Walrus is an all-in-one unit, meaning that unlike other energy storage units, it comes with an inverter built in on the top. The inverter is equipped with all the connection points you need. AC in and out, MPPT for solar panels, and even 120 and 240 volt outlets. With our strong tech background, we custom design, manufacture,
no fossils, middle of nowhere. Support at batteryevo.com.
We test the overload protection.
Batteryevo.com.
Running too much power into the unit.
We're in the middle of town, middle of nowhere, no fossils. Wow.
Once an
That's crazy.
status is detected, the system will resume. We also created our very own app. So
And you got EVs? So you're just charging straight from home then?
Battery in home. We pack each order with care and send our systems far and wide across the United States. We're extremely confident in our repurposed batteries. So much so that we offer the same 10-year warranty as any other new battery. At Battery Evo, we're super proud of making fewer carbon footprints than other battery makers. Here's exactly how much you save the planet by choosing Battery Evo. Put into numbers. Manufacturing a Walrus creates 2,275 less kilograms of carbon compared to the production of
Let's play the
solar
tracks for the
batteries.
meantime.
That's equivalent to driving 259,900.
Remember, we have Spanish. So if you guys need a Spanish, you know, ask in Spanish. I'll answer your question in Spanish. You know, and then I can have someone. I mean, I think I'm gonna have to probably do that. If you call in Spanish, I'll probably end up doing it. But if if you have a question and you don't know how to get the answer to it, you can ask us in Spanish. Don't worry about it. I will get you the answers. I will get you the questions. If you, we are texting everybody out to join the live. So if you text that number back, we'll have support text you directly. So if you want to have support with you, talking back and forth, you can text us back at that link that we just sent out to everybody, letting you know. And I apologize if we're bombing your SMS. It's because we're trying to let everybody know that if you need batteries, we're trying to find more ways to, one, answer your questions, help you out, and get you a good deal, right? So every time I'm trying to get a good deal or a discount approved, all the higher ups tell me no, can't do it, no discounts. So that's why I do these lives, okay? The higher ups, they don't really know how to get to this live. They don't even know that this link is even active sometimes. So we just push it out, and this is your quick chance to get a good deal. If you call in, I'll be able to get it approved only while the YouTube live is going. Other than that, you're gonna have to go through through the regular sales team, and you won't be able to take advantage of the YouTube live or the Meta live. So we're going live in 2 places. If you're seeing it on Facebook or if you're seeing it on YouTube, we're trying to find a way to make it all connect at the same time, but we haven't done that just yet. But we do have it, we're posting every single day on socials. We're posting funny, I think, content. We're posting also like content about like how you could even use the batteries. It's not always just there's a good deal out, right? We're trying to post content and teach people more about this power stuff. We're trying to get more sophisticated on our website. So if you're going to our website and find that there's information missing, ask us those questions. Every time we learn what questions the people have, we'll tailor our social media content, our videos, our website content for that. There's also another audio feed being broadcast. Very annoying, can hear it. Oh, I think they can hear the, see if you can lower the video in the back. So we have the videos in the back, so sometimes people don't ask questions. We just let the video play. So that's why the sound is there. But again, see, you let us know you can't hear very well, we'll fix it, right? But you have to let us know what your questions are. What are you looking to solve? How long do we plan on going live for? Should we just go till the end of the day?
However long you want.
All right.
It's going good so far.
Yeah, I think keep it going.
Okay, let's just keep it going. I'm sorry? Oh yeah, hang on. Yeah, so sorry about the other, so we have that video playing in the background just so people can see the videos, but those videos are all on our YouTube, so you can watch them later, but they are there because sometimes the chat's not asking questions, they're just watching, so the feed plays. And then I'll play the Walrus album too, so if I'm playing the Walrus album and you have a question, I'll lower the voice, lower the sound. Again, if you're just joining, we're trying to hook you up during the live. So we're currently Central AC. Okay, so I'm getting some. So if anybody's just joining, professional DJs. We are trying to sponsor an event. If you're a DJ, we want to plug this Walrus in there and we could see if we could do the DJ set all night. That'd be a good setup. That'd be really good. All right? So if you're a DJ and you're like, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to make my business more cost efficient. Imagine you could do an outdoor event and your power unit is just one of these things. And it wouldn't be loud, so it wouldn't mess up your set. What will be the cost, more or less? The sub panel, do you get, do it, purchase? I have to get something else. Cost more or less of the sub panel. Do you guys do it with purchase? So we don't have, if you call in, professionals, we could show you where to get them. And maybe you can get a purchase order going with us and we'll ship it out to you, but it'll be from a partner. But sub panels, usually you can get one online. Let me go online. So I'll just go to Amazon. We are working on getting sub panels for everybody. Sardar, I had that sub panel kit. Where's the link to that? Can you show me that? Remember you showed me the sub panel kit? So I'm looking at the sub panel now. The box alone, literally that metal box, I'm looking at it now. $28, $54. What you're gonna need is probably some extra breakers. So let's say you're all in on a sub panel kit at like $300, $400. Let's just say, maybe not even that much. Maybe even just like 100 something bucks. And then you're gonna have to get the wiring done, right? So hit up an electrician. If you call in, we have a network of electricians who've signed on to be trained on the Walruses. So you could tell us where you're living, and then we'll find the nearest certified Battery Evo electrician to go out there, survey your building, and let you know how you can get this thing installed. Sub panels, the material is not that expensive. It's usually the electrician's going to probably charge you a rate for what the install will be. That's why it's important to get learn more. It's important to learn about how you can do this. A lot of DIYers, people are pretty savvy, and in certain states, you know, the inspection stuff isn't so, you know, regulated. So you could do it yourself sometimes. I can't recommend you do it for yourself because we're just, you know, the battery company. I'm not the utility company or the civil engineer in your area. So I can't really recommend you what to do. But from what I've seen, I mean, it's not that hard to set it up. But yes, professional DJs, call in if you're looking to get some more information on the Walrus and how to install it. And just because you called in during the YouTube live, you can lock in YouTube live pricing. So whatever pricing you see online, that's the best pricing right now. But because you called during the YouTube live, that's, you know, just an extra hookup. And I'm only able to do that while we're on the live because I can get it approved during this time frame. But beyond that, we're gonna have to, we don't, oh look, I think the video is playing about the sub panel now. So, oh wait, but this is falling, this is behind, huh? So I'm watching a delayed, oh man, okay. We gotta find a way to put it on the screen so I can show people how to do it. So if you're joining on Facebook, we also have this on YouTube if you wanna watch this. But the live is just basically to help people if they wanna ask about the battery unit. I should probably move this to a different spot so people can see what they're looking at. Oh, but it's like focused on me, huh? Oh, wait. I think it's got that lock thing on it, dude. Like, where it won't, like... Oh, I think that's a little better. Wait, I think maybe here.
Got it?
I think so. That's not bad.
You can move it with the joystick.
Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, so if you're joining this live, we're doing this on Facebook, but the whole point is to talk about this thing. So if you're looking at, if you can see the Walrus unit here, feel free to ask some questions. Maybe can we play something on the screen?
Yeah, what do you need?
I don't know. Play something cool. Play something entertaining. Play like something that's going to make you feel inspired. Professional DJs, you're in Florida. Call in, please, and so we can see if we can get you hooked up on something. What's your favorite music genre? We have the Walrus album. It's basically some Walrus tracks, but they're in different genres. What's your favorite genre? Let's do it. Let's put some songs on for the people. Yeah. Facebook Live. We have YouTube Live. I think the YouTube Live is better, just because we have more control. Oh, we just got like glaciers in the background now. So Professional DJ says you guys came out with a great product. We are trying to make this the easiest cost-effective product out there. So sometimes people want like super special stuff on these units, but if we're trying to be cost efficient, it's kind of like put everything on there and make it easy to use. You're gonna get a lot of battery capacity out of these things, you know. I mean, I know there's other products in the market right now that are similar, but in terms of battery capacity, I don't think that you're gonna be able to find as much battery capacity as we're offering people. So I think that that's key, especially as time goes on. You're gonna be needing more appliances in your home. So, or at least, you think they'll, I mean, you don't need more appliances in your home over time, right? You're not gonna get like 4 fridges.
No.
But I mean, if you have a gas stove, maybe you might at some point get an electric stove.
Yeah.
Like, what's an appliance that you might be installing in your home between now and the next 3 years? Maybe an EV charger, maybe a new AC, maybe a new refrigerator, or what if you have maybe like a family member?
A new electric water heater. If you're switching.
If you're going from gas boiler to electric. What about if you're gonna get the new PlayStation Pro?
That one.
You know,
Your standing desk.
your standing desk. Yeah, that's true. What else? If you have kids, you're gonna have to buy them phones at some point, and they're gonna charge them every night, multiple times a day. You know, and it's summer school right now, so you know the kids are at home just spamming Fortnite. So they're just racking up the AC bill and racking up the electric bill because they want to watch Disney Plus for 9 hours a day, right? So if that's the case, what is your game plan to offset those electricity costs? Especially if you're in California. I mean, that's where the electricity is probably the highest. Maybe who are the top 5 most expensive electricity states? Photos away. All right, thanks, Rick. Let's see if somebody responds. Sardar, go let him know that Rick sent in his reviews, his pictures for reviews. See if they can get him a gift card. Yeah, just go. Rick Denjian. He should be in the email, so they should have got it. We got a new song. Let me know if you like it or if you hate it. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. I didn't make the song, so it's totally okay. But at least all right, thanks, Rick. I think they might ask you to leave a review. So if you just go ahead and do that, I think they should be able to go through it. And then once you get them your order number, they'll know that it's you. What's the life expectancy on the battery and how much to replace it? So the expectancy, everything's warranted for 10 years. So you don't got to worry about like how much it'll cost to replace it unless it's beyond that point. But I think if you get past that 10-year mark, you're probably going to be looking for upgrades anyway. Life expectancy on this is easily over a decade. We anticipate maybe 20 years life worth of expectancy. So remember, it goes all back to efficiency, right? So if you're using this at a moderate rate just to keep your power bills down or to get some power outages, you know, the battery is not going to be going through extreme like cycles all the time. So it's mostly like the life cycles, right? But these lithium has deep cycles, whereas lead acid batteries do not. So you're gonna get about 5,000 cycles on this, and that again, those are deep cycles. That's 0 to 100, and these units will never usually ever go 0 to 100 like that. I mean, whenever these things get to like about 20, they just charge up again, or whenever it just needs to fill up, it tops itself off, and so you're not really like depleting and repleting. So that creates an efficient system. So if you're thinking about longevity, these things will last you a long time. I mean, we're using these in our own factory right now. We have a very large facility here, so we actually have half of the building being run on some of these Walruses, and then we even plugged in using the sub panel some EV chargers. So the people who work here, the colleagues of ours who have EVs, charge their cars on these things every single day, right? So we used to have some older battery systems that were running the facility, but ever since we got the Walruses, we switched to these. So these things get used every day here in our office. Right, and then I have this one here. We've been using it on every single live. It just stays on. It's holding out on capacity. Again, it will last you over a decade. It's warranted for 10 years. So, I mean, I guess just knowing that, I mean, beyond that, I think if you got beyond the 10-year mark and you're still looking to do something else, I think at that point you'd be ready for an upgrade, and we can get you some upgraded battery packs, some upgraded inverter packs. I mean, 10 years from now is a long time, you know? Think about cars 10 years ago and cars now, right? They're better. They're upgraded. So it's like this is kind of a new system, so I can only imagine in 10 years how much more efficient it'll be. Remember, as time goes on, the price of lithium will go down, meaning that these kinds of products will become more cost efficient. So that's a good thing for the planet, right? That's a good thing for the planet because that means more people can take advantage of setting up their homes for backup, setting up their homes for off-grid, right? If we always continuously rely on the systems provided to us by, our country, sometimes, there's certain places in certain areas that have called me in Alabama and Arkansas where they have no power. The power just doesn't get there and the city's not fixing it. So it's like, what's the alternative, right? We should be able to have alternative power solutions in the States. And so it's like, these are people have been doing gas generators for a long time now. Other people have been doing, what are the other ways people have gone off grid? I know they do the gas generators. Some places have like that natural gas, so that's pretty easy for them to use. People have been rigging up their own batteries for a very long time. But these are new products that are being developed, like Tesla Powerwall. They're going everywhere now because they're the ones who they're the biggest in the market. They're the ones who are constantly out there with the EVs and the batteries and the solar. So it's like they understand the importance of these battery backups. So it's like, okay, but the Tesla Powerwall also has an entry level cost that could be out of your price range. So it's like, if it's out of your price range, are you just gonna not have a power solution? So that's why we're trying to aggressively price these, and that's why they're on sale now, because it's the summer. Everybody's calling in. They want to get their ACs off grid, their pools off grid, mini splits, ADUs, things like that. This is a great way to go, and it's always expandable. Professional DJ says, thrust me. I don't know what we should think. I'm not sure where to go with that one, but sure. Look, this is being used up. Pull down. How many panels of 400 watt will need to float? So you could do 10. You could do 10, professional DJ. 10 solar panels, DC. You want to do off-grid panel for that, okay? And then you want to get at 4,500 watts. If you could get maybe like 11. So one of the things that's important to know or to think about when you're installing those solar panels is the voltage, right? So the PV input on this has 90 to 230 volts PV inputs. So when you're running those in series, you do not want to exceed the 230 volts on the PV inputs. So based on that, that's what you're gonna want to. So what's the voltage on the solar panels? Have you looked at them? If you want to get a DC off-grid solar panel kit, professional DJs, call in right now. We have a kit that we can use from our partners, and we'll ship it to you. It's 10 450 watt panels, DC. They comply with the voltage system on this, and that will create an efficient system for your Walrus units. And then one very important thing to note about these batteries is that they have bypass mode. So when people are always asking about the off-grid solar, they're always like, how is it gonna work? I don't get it, right? So the solar is gonna come in, but you're obviously always gonna consume more solar than what's being used. So as the solar comes in, you're gonna have bypass mode on the inverter here. So basically the solar will come in from the roof, go through the inverter and power your home. All the extra solar gets stored into the battery pack. And then at nighttime when there's no sun, the battery pack will start to produce the power for your home. And then in the daytime, when the sun comes back up, it goes back to normal. So it starts to recharge and goes back to bypass mode. So if you have plenty of solar coming in, it will run your home during the day, and then all the extra solar gets charged into the battery. And then at nighttime, when there's no sun, you got power, and then you don't got to worry about power outages, and then you're basically a power plant for yourself. Professional DJ is in Florida, so there's plenty of sun in Florida, right? Plenty of sun. I think Nick's from Florida. Nick just came back from Florida. Our creative director's from Florida. He's just out there. Let us know if you've seen any alligators recently. He said he just went out there for a week and a half, saw no alligators. So I don't know. Maybe there's a shortage of alligators in Florida. I'm not sure. I don't think it's the case. Yeah. If you can get us a picture of an alligator, send it in. Send it in. Nick would love to see it. He's a Florida native, and he went out there for 2 weeks and saw no alligators. Oh yeah, I think they called in about their rhinos and they got a good deal. Who was the one who wanted the rhinos? Somebody wanted rhinos. Oh man, I lost them. Hell yeah. Oh wait. Was it Hairless Monkey Productions? That's still such a savage name. So yeah, professional DJs. 400, I mean, if you already have the 400 watt panels, I would think 10 or 11 panels, but find out. Tell us what the voltage on that is, and I'll tell you how many you can wire up to this. Oh, and I still haven't played the new song. Hold on. I gotta play a new song for everybody. Oh, man. Extra. Send in a picture of an alligator. Okay, so the 4-ton AC unit. So we were talking about that earlier. It's going to get tricky with that 4-ton AC unit, okay? We can recommend up to a 2.5-ton AC unit on a Walrus, okay? Beyond that, it gets tricky because those units have very high critical loads or power draw. So what happens is that the inverter is designed to protect the battery at all costs, right? Like you don't want an excess surge of power coming through these battery packs. So the inverters are designed where if there's a huge load coming in, it will shut itself off to protect the battery unit. So 4-ton AC unit, professionals, DJ, is considered too large, okay? Some people are getting away with 3 and 3.5. I cannot recommend that because the unit is recommended up to 2.5. But when you have this grid tied, it does pull some of the power from the battery and some of the power from your grid, so you can offset some of the load. But again, I cannot recommend you use a 4-ton AC directly off the battery pack. Okay, so if you want to use this for battery backup, it'll be perfectly fine to wire up your whole home, but do not wire up the 4-ton AC to this because you're gonna have all your appliances running. Once that surge comes in from that 4-ton AC, when you turn on that, when it turns on, it's gonna turn off. It's gonna shut itself down to protect itself. Now, we're working on a way to be able to get these inverters to work together to get more powerful inverter. So the situation here is not the battery packs. It's the inverter, right? The inverter needs to be designed to be able to handle large loads. That's why battery backups for large commercial buildings is difficult, and sometimes you need very large power systems to be able to pull this off. So if you have a 410 AC, I would assume you probably have a large home. Now, it's not to say that you can't have AC. The thing is that you don't want to run the 4-ton AC. In some of our videos, you'll see that we'll have like a mini split AC at the top. You could easily add 1 or 2 of those to your home and wire it up to a Walrus or Walrus Atlantic. And then in a power outage, just don't run your 4-ton AC, right? You could offset some of that load with the battery pack to lower your power bills, but the units have not been designed yet to be able to work with that size of an AC. Right, that's just the case. We do have large commercial battery backups for like manufacturing plants and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if somebody's willing to put a giant battery in their backyard. I mean, sure, you know, maybe in Texas, maybe in Florida, it could be done. They look like maybe what would be the size? Like the smallest commercial unit we have is how big? Like maybe like 2 refrigerators. Like actual physical size. Bigger? Maybe like 3 refrigerators?
Not that big, but more than.
So maybe like imagine 2.5 refrigerators combined together to make a large commercial battery and inverter. That could do it. With a slow start switch. Okay, so that's what somebody was asking too. Slow starter switch. It could help. But oh man, I don't know. We have to find out. Professional, you should call in. You should call in and let us know what slow starter switch you have, and then we'll have the technical team run the numbers with you, and then they'll kind of give you a gauge what to do. Slow starter could help out. It really, really could, because what happens is that the large surge comes in. That's what's going to make it want to shut down. But if you can have it just trickle in, you could get away with it. But again, it goes back to the efficiency of the battery. If you want to do something like that, I would recommend maybe 2 units. Have 1 unit for your home. In case of a power emergency, you do not want to risk the 4-ton AC coming in and draining the battery out, right? So have one unit for your home for battery backup for you and for your family and for your home, and then have an extra one, and then have that run to that 410 AC, or have that run to your AC. I'm not going to say 410 AC because, again, this is recommended up to 2.5. The inverter is. That's the same thing for the Atlantic. The battery capacity could do it. The inverter is where it gets tricky. If you have that slow starter and switch, perhaps it'll help lower the load coming in. But I don't know what the units of measurement are. I don't know exactly how much will come in. So if you call in and talk to our technical reps, let them know the data that you have, the spec sheets of that slow starter switch. Can you look up slow starter switches for ACs, Serdar, and see what's even in the market? Yeah, let's find out what's in the market, what's most common, what are the power draws on there, and see if that could be a viable solution for people with large ACs. So we're gonna have some technical people look some stuff up, professional DJs, but I think you should call in because it seems like you might be interested in a unit like this. At least call in and see what your best prices are. And again, I mean, they said if you throw in an alligator picture, they're gonna hook you up a little bit more. That's just for Nick though, so that's coming out of Nick's paycheck, that $100. So if you can get that alligator picture, not only are they hooking you up, but I will have the payroll guys take $100 out of Nick's check just because you sent them an alligator picture. All right, but yeah, let's find out that starter switch. Let us know what you're using. We can have my team right here look it up on the internet, and we'll see how much power is coming out of there. And then, yeah, we could basically do that. We could basically find out. Honestly, if this is actually a viable solution, we can probably start recommending people to go this route. And then I still have not played the new track. Professional DJs is a DJ, and I haven't played the song for him. So if you're interested in the Walrus tracks, you should throw this into your sets. What kind of DJ do you do? What are you doing? What kind of events? Wait, you have a bunch in here. Safari. All right, let's just go the first one.
2 rap ones, 2 country ones.
All right, let's just hit them. I always get so like, I don't know what to expect.
I got the news from me to you. This secret power, we got a whole suit. The Walrus, the Kong, and the Rhino chew off the grid living. You know what we do? Battery Safari. Battery Safari. Battery Safari. Battery Safari. Battery Safari. Battery Safari.
They were always live.
Battery Evo 7 and mine.
Let's go battery Evo. We selling some batteries or what?
Yep. People are getting hooked up. People got hooked up. Somebody got hooked up on a Rhino kit right now. So we have Jeff, certified sales guy. So if you want to call in and want a deal, you can talk to Jeff.
Give me a call, man. I'll give you a great deal.
He's gonna hook you up. Yeah, you can call Jeff. Jeff's a good guy.
Call us back. Call us here, 866-336-8386. We'll hook you up.
Jeff says he's the fastest runner in the office. I disagree. I put him in the top 15.
What?
I don't think he's even top 10, to be honest. But if you call in and ask, if you can call in and ask Jeff what's his 100-meter yard dash, I will make him give you a discount. I will get it signed off.
There you go.
All right? If anybody can call Jeff, get his 100-meter yard dash time, post it on this, I will take another $100 out of Nick's check and give it to you. All right? So I only do private parties for multicultural. Okay. Is multicultural a genre? Or is that like, what does that mean? So private parties, you're probably going to these private parties and plugging straight into their electricity, right? So you're probably raking up their electric bill so you can play some dancing music. Private parties. Can you get some AI tracks for professional DJs? So we're looking at some of these starter switches online. Somebody got hooked up with rhinos earlier. Really, really sick. Professional, are you going to end up calling in today and see if you can get some good pricing on this? Or are you going to... Because, I mean, the sale's going to go on for a little while. I mean, I anticipate we'll have another sale again. But, again, the YouTube Live pricing is going to be the best. So call in, Professional, if you can. And then get that alligator picture in here. We need that. Let's go to the next track. Oh, okay. So Rick came back in about the soft starter, and we were talking about Professional DJ about the soft starter for his AC. So, Rick, did you end up calling in? I think you called in. I'm not sure. So I'm looking at these soft starters. This is the first time I'm looking at them, so I'm not really too familiar with it. I have my technical team looking at it and trying to figure out. Can you get me some data on this? I mean, how can you use this with us? So there's air conditioner, soft start modules, easy DIY systems. I think you need to figure out like how the energy comes into that, and then how it basically reroutes the energy, and then see if that gets plugged into the sub panel, if it's more efficient. This could be a very good solution for people with large ACs and heat pumps. So we're gonna try to find out if you know whatever. I mean, I'm sure you want a recommended soft starter. I'm not sure, but right here I've seen one that says soft starter for 3.5 ton and under residential HVAC air conditioners. Easy DIY, small RV. So there's a couple different things here. 300. I don't really know what's too much of the difference on these. I don't really know how they would be used. We got to make a video on this. We got to figure this out. Soft starter. Okay. Soft starter, how it works, what it does, and then once we can figure out the tech specs on that, maybe Sardar can run the numbers and figure out if it makes it more efficient. So if people have higher AC units or water pumps or things like that, we could just be like, look, this is what you can use as a buffer.
Sounds good.
So we're going to find out, Rick. I don't have the information right now. I don't know how quickly we're going to get it, but if we get it, we'll add it to the website. We'll add the information to the website. Soft starter. If anybody's just joining, so if anybody has a question in here, we're going to try to find out the soft starter. The soft starter is going to help out Rick and Professional DJs and anybody else, because we did talk to some people today over the phone earlier today, and this was the same situation. So I want to figure this out. I don't really know, but a lot of people have been calling in, especially Texas, Florida. They have those big 4 and 5 ton AC units. Again, I can't recommend that you run that directly to the Walrus unit here, because the surge load will be too high. But if we can find out that if the soft starters help, we could probably start making technical specs around that. If you're just joining now, we're basically just describing the Walrus, and if you have any questions about the unit, you can ask. If you're looking to buy the unit, call in, and they're going to give you a special deal that's not available online. The online specials will go on till tomorrow for the Prime Day deals, so you'll get free shipping along with a discounted price. So that's always good. But again, always with the YouTube live, we can scrape just a little bit more because I can get it approved for you during the live. Only during the live can I do this. When the live's not going on, it's completely out of my hands. The system's not in my hands. I cannot approve it for you. If there's anything that you want to see on the unit, let me know. I can turn it around. It's on wheels, so I can literally just rotate it, show you the plugs on the side, show you how you can do an off-grid setup, a grid-tied setup. We got random stuff playing right here. It's connected to the Walrus, as you can see. So you can just see that like stuff's connected to it and it's powered. Maybe we want to switch this. Put something crazy up there. Put like, I don't know.
Put monster trucks.
There you go. Put monster trucks up there.
That's crazy. That's a crazy fly.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's hit the music again, I guess. So we had some tracks in here. Make sure you put these on the drive later so I have them, but this is a good way to have them right now. It's not about the price. I need to check everything for our person. I need to check all the tech. You guys have a great price. Yeah. Okay, cool. Then that's totally fine. But it's the starter switch, isn't it? The 410 AC. Yeah, it's not even just this unit. There's a lot of units on the market that's still the number one thing that every battery and inverter company out there is trying to solve is trying to figure out how we're going to do the AC. Large AC units require commercial battery and inverters, which we have, but they're very large. But the tech specs, we have the specs on the website. We have. Do you want to maybe drop the link to the spec sheets on here? Probably drop the spec sheets for the Walrus and the Walrus Atlantic, and then they can look at the specs. Yeah, we're live.
No, on what?
On Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So we have the tech specs on the site, but again, when just like you asked about the 410 AC, so we can't recommend that you wire that directly into this because that's going to be a large surge load. I have my tech team right now looking at the soft starters. You're looking at them, right? Okay, can you get some type of idea? Once we get some type of idea of what we can do, we'll get you that, and we'll add it to our tech specs. All right, professional DJ, we're going to try to get you some specs on this. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. The tech team is helping out people over the phone. That's why calling in over the phone is the best bet because they'll work directly with you to figure out the specs that you need for that. Besides that, is there any other questions as to what you're trying to do here? We're trying to solve that issue with the large AC units. I mean, a lot of people have been calling in about that. Many people, what they're doing is that they're just getting the mini splits and using that as an alternative in the meantime. It's pretty inverter systems it's pretty hard to get them to be that strong without them being commercial. But it is being worked on. Soft starters apply voltage. So Dan Evans, he's talking over here on Facebook, and I think he says soft starters apply voltage gradually to diminish the hard hit of high amp draw appliances. The size to be size larger than yeah. So that's what. So yeah, it's to diminish the hard hit of high amp draw. I think what we're trying to figure out here is what soft starter would be best for professional DJs. For his 410 AC, that would then also be a decent enough amperage here to the Walrus unit so that it doesn't have it doesn't shut down, right? Because to protect itself, it'll shut down. So thanks Dean Evans for doing that. That was over on IG, and there's not really many people watching on IG. So you see how the live can help other people's. So he got me quick. Don Evans jumped in and he got me a faster result than you, Sir Dar. You're gonna have to speed it up over there, buddy. Fred, what if somebody's using a soft starter with their AC to then help lower the amperage on this?
If it's a 2.5 to 3 ton, yes.
What about 4 ton or 5 ton?
5 tons is a difficult because.
Does it depend on the soft starter or is just too much load?
It's very difficult to get the heavy duty soft starter that runs a 4 ton AC unit. Yes, that's very difficult.
Okay.
Also, if you install the AC unit with the Walrus and if you connect it to the grid, yes, you'll be able to use the 4 ton AC, but it has to be connected
to the grid.
Yes, but if you unplug it, you're not able to, because that Walrus with the AC unit, it become basically backup system. It's not going to be daily usage. If you want to use a daily usage with the AC, you have to connect it the main electrical panel.
So they, I mean, just to make it more efficient, they can go on Amazon, look up soft starters for 4 ton AC, and then that, even just having that, it's going to help the load.
It does, but most of the time, it's for a heavy duty machine or higher a ton AC unit. It's not going to work. It's difficult to find for such a soft start. Soft start usually for smaller equipment that has a less than 2,000 watt draw. If you go 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, the device become very expensive and very difficult to make.
Got it.
They already have built-in capacitor. All AC units, they have a built-in capacitor. The capacitor is kind of like a cube, big, and bigger. But that already has built-in, but that's not enough for this Walrus to be able to run 4,000 watt AC.
Got it. Okay, so I'm not sure if you were able to hear that too well, but that's where the issue is going to be, is that maybe you can find a soft starter, but this even finding a soft starter for that large of an AC unit could get difficult. Again, they did say it will help lower the amperage draw to come into this unit, which would be helpful in creating an efficient system. He also said that if you're grid tied, yes, it runs, right? Because it's got bypass mode, so you can pull some draw from your grid, some draw from your battery, help lower the expense. But in a case of an emergency, I would recommend don't run that 4 ton AC. The battery unit, the inverter is designed to protect the battery from surge loads, right? That even includes, like, if electricity hits your roof, that's what it's there for. So if it has that large surge, it protects the battery, right? Mark, also Dean Evans also says, micro air soft start is what we used in HVAC. They handle up to a 5 ton AC. They ran around $400. So Dean Evans got there faster than you again, Sardar. So I don't know what we're gonna have to do about that. So Dean Evans says that he's using or has used a micro air soft start is what he used in HVAC, and they handle up to a 5 ton AC. So again, setting that up will lower the amperage draw that goes into here, which in turn creates a more efficient system. Find out the tech specs, professional teachers. Remember, we can recommend everything up to the battery. He says that they would minimize the startup by 60%. Dean Evans, are you in HVAC? Are you doing air conditioners? Is that your business? Or so he says he's going to minimize the startup by about 68%. Micro air soft start. I'm going to look that up.
Wow. I need to create this two number for Give me this two number. What's your email address? Reach out to me so I can add you to the admin console.
Says not now, but was for 21 years. So Dean Evans was doing HVAC, and he says that one of these micro air soft starters is what they would always use in HVAC. Can handle a 5 ton AC. He says they ran around $400. He says he was doing that for 21 years, and it would minimize the startup by about 60%. Thank you. We'll call back micro air self started. There you go. So the live works, right? So one question leads to one answer, leads to one person helping another person. So great. So micro air self-started. That's going to help that out, okay? So I'm glad we were able to get that out of the way. And I guess, Rick, that would be the same for the heat pump, right? I guess that could work in a similar fashion. Just depends on how you wire it up. So micro air, we're gonna write that down. Yeah, so I looked it up. The Micro Air Easy Start 368 soft start is right here on Amazon for $379. So if you're just joining now, yeah, okay, yeah. So Dean Evans does say that it's the same thing for an AC or for the compressor. So, I mean, sorry, for the EC or the heat pump, it uses the same compressor. So yeah, so one of these soft starters, yeah, I mean, $379 doesn't seem like too much if you're trying to do large AC units to help lower the amperage draw. Regardless, it could probably be more efficient anyways. Anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and ask in the chat now, and then we're gonna help hook you up. Otherwise, this live might not go on for much longer. I think we hooked up too many people, so now they're kind of gonna tell us to shut it down. But if you still have a chance to call in, call in. And thanks again, Dean Evans. You got to it quicker than my tech team, so we're gonna have to figure out how to go faster when people have questions like this. Huh? No, I'm on the camera. I'm on the camera. What do you mean? Oh, no. Did you send it? No? Oh, yeah, send it, please. So if anybody has any more questions, this live will probably go on for maybe a few minutes more. In the meantime, we'll play the last of these songs. Otherwise... Otherwise, we're going to have to shut down the live if nobody has any more questions or if nobody's looking to get a deal. This will probably run for a few more minutes. So if anyone has a question, we did solve the problem. There's knowledge and then there's Google. Knowledge always wins. So we did figure out that if you want to run a larger AC system, a good way to lower the amperage draw on this is to get one of those soft starters. Right? Again, we recommend up to a 2.5 AC, but if some of you are savvy, with the AC systems, savvy with your electrical systems, right? Once the unit gets to you, it's your unit. So depending on how you want to do the draw, the power distribution, that's up to you. Let's see, what's the last songs you put on here?
Yo, I got the news from me to you. If you seeking power, we got a whole suit. The Walrus, the Kong, and the Rhino too. Off the grid living, y'all know what we do. Woo! Battery safari, battery safari, battery safari. Battery safari, battery safari. Evo saving that money. The Walrus is the boss, and all in one ride. Solar power flowing, keep your home electrified. Buy it once, live it up under the sun. Life's a breeze when the batteries got you sprung. With your solar, AC's colder, chilling, grin and wide. Keep showing like a villain, future bright. Energy's all right. Battery Evo, keeping it tight. Night to daylight. Battery safari, battery safari, battery safari. Battery safari, battery safari. Evo saving that money. When the Kong steps in, it's on, no delay. King Kong power all day, every way. Plug it in. 3 prongs, let's play. Electric dreams, battery Evos display. The Rhino's not a dino, fossil fuels decline. Charge it up anytime, we're fine. No limit to the power, let it shine. Right albino, energy divine. Battery safari, battery safari, battery safari. Battery safari, battery safari. Evo saving that money. From the grid to the wild, we got it all. Battery Evos, the next.
So they're asking, Sardar, what's the max draw? The 13.3 you can have, I guess, on the 13 kilowatt hour. What's the max draw? Max draw. Max draw.
Yeah, so the phone is 13 kilowatt.
13.
Oh, sorry. 8 kilowatt. No, sorry, 10 kilowatt.
Wait, which one is it?
10 kilowatt. 10 kilowatt.
10 kilowatt?
Yeah.
Is the max draw?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the max draw on this will be 10 kilowatt. On the that's going to be the same thing for the Atlantic. So they have the same inverter. The Atlantic only has a higher battery capacity. I like the country ones. See if I can write it back.
I got some news for y'all to hear. If you're looking for power, battery Evo's near. The Walrus, the Kong, and the Rhino too. Take you off the grid, that's what we do. Battery safari, battery safari, battery safari. Battery safari, battery Evo, saving that money. The Walrus is the one, an all-in-one dream. Solar power flowing like a mountain stream. Buy it once you're set, under the sun. Life's a breeze, y'all, when the batteries got you on. With your solar AC, colder, chillin'. Grinning wide like a fishing line drilling. Future's bright, energy's just right. Battery Evo, keeping it tight, day and night. Battery safari, battery safari, battery safari. Battery safari, battery Evo, saving that money. When the Kong steps in, it's on.
If you're just joining in now, the live might not be on for much longer, but this is your chance to ask a question. And if you're looking to get one of these units, right now everything's on special for Prime deals. But if you call in during the YouTube live, I'll be able to get you approved on a little bit better discount. I'll always be able to scrape some extra money off the top so that we can get you the best deal possible during the YouTube live. But you gotta ask some questions and you gotta call in on the number that's on the screen. But if you have a question on how you're looking to either lower your power bills, protect yourself from power outages, peak shaving, go off grid, mention it in the chat and we could talk about it. We could talk about the different options of how you can wire this up. We can show you how to do it. I have the unit here, so if you have any questions about the ports or how it works, I could show you right here. Right now we're playing these monster truck videos. Chris, can you change the monster truck videos? Let's switch it out.
Yeah.
Let's put something different now. So if you're just joining, ask some questions. There's people who've been talking in the chat. They probably have a similar question. So the best deal, Dean Evans, on the 13 kilowatt hour is going to be 4199 on the website. But if you call in, actually Dean Evans can't see the phone number on the chat on the Facebook. So the phone number is 866-336-8386. If you call that number in, Dean, they're going to be able to get you with a better price than with the Prime Day deals. It's a custom quote that they'll be able to I'll be able to get approved because of the YouTube Live. It's going to be free shipping, and then they're going to scrape a couple more bucks off of that. So you could probably get this under $4,000 possibly. But you got to call in for that, right? Otherwise, you could use the Prime deals that are currently on the site, and the price should be at around $4,199 for the 13 kilowatt hour during the sale event. So call in for that. If you want to get a better deal and you maybe need more battery capacity, you could bundle up with more batteries. Oh, you got it in there. 866-336-8386. Good job. There you go. So that's the number. That's the number. Tell them you're watching the live. If you tell them I'm watching the live and tell them I heard the Walrus tracks, I heard the Walrus song, they're gonna give you a deal. You gotta tell them this. Once you tell them that they heard the song, automatic approval for a discount. Right? So if anybody's just joining the live here on YouTube, go ahead and ask a question. Again, they've been talking in the chat, so maybe it's the similar questions that you have already been talked about. We already talked about going off grid. Using a soft starter if you have a very large AC unit to create a more efficient system. We talked about battery expansion. We talked about battery, like the longevity of the batteries, the warranty of the batteries. Also, let us know where you're at and what state and city are you in. I'll look up your local utility company and see what you guys have set up. Do you guys have time of use settings? Do you guys have peak rate charges? Right, California, we have to take advantage of the time of use settings. Texas has nights free plan. So in Texas, there's certain jurisdictions where they have these nights free plan. I always bring up the Texas night free plan. It's so sick. Basically, at nighttime, they're not charging you for power. So you can have free electricity at night. Get some battery packs, plug them in, and then you could do the reverse of what everybody's doing with solar. So instead of charging up in the day and powering up at night, you could power up in the nighttime when the power is free, and then power your home during the day, and then don't use the utility company's electricity. Use your own power, right? If we're going back to the solar, if you're grid tied, remember, when the power cuts out, you will not have power. The power will not come in, the power will not go out. So you need a buffer. These battery packs work as a buffer. So if you have solar grid tied, meaning you're still connected to the grid, you're paying the utility company still, use this as a buffer. The solar comes in, it collects, and it also has bypass mode, so you don't got to worry about powering your home. It'll continue to power your home. But all the extra solar that you're not using, if you currently have a grid tied solar system, there's no way that you're using all the solar that you're producing every day. There's just no way. You do not have enough electrical appliances in your home that would use up all the solar you're producing. So that solar comes in. Can you put up some solar panel houses on the screen? If you have a solar grid tied install, what's happening is the solar's coming in. You're not using that solar. You're at work all day, right? So the utility company's basically just taking it. They're like, well, nobody's using it, so they just suck it back up. And then at nighttime, they charge you for the solar you collected. Your neighbors probably don't have solar panels. So they collect your solar and then use it to charge your neighbors. So think about it. You're producing energy for free for the utility company just to charge you and your neighbors for it. So, the sun is a free energy ball of fire in the sky. And if you can find a way to collect that solar, you could keep it inside the battery pack, power your home at night, lower your electrical costs, protect yourself in power outages, tell your neighbors about it. Because, as everybody knows, as we all know how the U.S. works, They're going to pass some law. They're going to make it more difficult to do this. They're going to realize we could just keep charging people more and more for utilities, and there's nothing anybody's going to say or do about it, because what are you going to do? Not have power, right? So we got to create a buffer, right? The gas and diesel generators was what people were doing in the past. But now, as you know, especially if you're in California, they're basically going to stop selling diesel generators and gas generators in California. I think it's 2027, I believe. So even if you're like, well, screw that, I have my gas generator, well, that's going to not be an option soon either. I think if you're a food truck, you won't be able to use a gas generator anymore either in California. I don't know other states. I know other states are going that route, maybe New York, maybe Florida. Texas is still a little bit more lenient on what they can do there. So is a lot of states in the South. A lot of places up north, maybe they don't get too much sun. So you're kind of stuck on the utility company, but you can use this with a grid-tied solution, right? So if you're like, hey, I don't even get sun up here. I live in Alaska. Well, wait, does Alaska get sun? No, Alaska gets a lot of sun actually, huh?
During the summer, it gets sun like 18 hours a day. But
there you
during
go.
the winter, it's
No sun.
18 hours
No sun.
a day.
Okay, so you probably have some type of grid-tied thing going on. You could use this as a grid-tied, so if the power cuts out, and you could lower your electrical costs, right? So how would time of use settings work? It would work just like that, right? So we're 100% off-grid. So our off-grid adventure, that's awesome. So look, check this out. So our off-grid adventure basically is saying now that they're 100% off-grid. Their batteries are charged by 10 a.m. and they're running on solar until around 4 p.m. And then I assume they use the batteries at night. And I mean, since you're 100% off-grid, the question becomes, do you ever use up all of your battery's capacity in the nighttime? And if you do, what appliances are you using that's causing that? I think that you probably wouldn't, you know? So I can stay on the live for a little bit longer if anybody wants to get a deal, but you guys got to call the number on the screen. Maybe for the next live, can we make that that phone number bigger? But our off-grid adventure, I mean, you're fully 100% off-grid. That's great. Are you looking to do any other types of projects that need batteries? Where are you located? What state and city are you in? Let us know so we could have something to chat about. Otherwise, I'm going to have to play the Walrus tracks. We're in Sunny Zona, Arizona. Is Sunny Zona the city, or are you just saying that like because there's a lot of sun? Is that a place? Sunny Zona? I never heard that before. What's the regulations for off-grid dwellings in Arizona? I'm not even sure. I mean, I know you get a lot of sun out there. If you're going 100% off-grid, do you have a central AC, or what is your AC? What are you using for AC? Because that's what the big question is, right? And like we were talking earlier, that it's kind of difficult to get large central ACs on one of these types of battery packs. Oh, they went mini split. They went the mini split route. Did you email me, or maybe you emailed one of the guys in here? I'm not sure. Yep, it's actually Sunny Zona. Sunny Zona is a real place. All right, cool. Okay, cool. Let's go to Sunny Zona. What is the average cost of a home in Sunny Zona? Let's find out. Let's compare it to the price here in California. I've realized that the cost of a home in California is way too high, so I've given up all hope. The American dream for me is completely dead. It will not happen. So I'm gonna get one of those container homes. I'm gonna plug in some batteries. I'm hoping I can get Battery Evo to sponsor it. We're gonna get some Walrus Atlantics and some off-grid panels, and then if I can pull it off, we're gonna try to shoot the whole thing and show everybody how you can do it. I still got to figure out the water situation. I'm not sure. If you're doing off-grid, does that include water? Or you still got water connected to the grid? Not regulations, off-grid here. I mean, Brian and Nicholas. Oh, I think that's literally us. That's literally me and you, Nick. He said he emailed us. We just got a Hyper Adobe house. Hyper Adobe house. What is that? Let's build. Yeah. Let's do it. So yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and try to build some off-grid dwellings. Maybe before the end of the year, we could probably maybe we can get some land, right? If we all go in on it, and then we just get some off-grid dwellings, get some little container homes. You can ship them here. Now water. Water is the tricky part. So no regulations for off-grid here. And then he emailed us. But I mean, what did we get emailed about? Do we have that email, Nick? See if we can find it. So let's see if we can find that email. If not, call in and see what it was about. We'll try to get it fixed. Maybe somebody told you to email us. I'm not 100% sure. I don't see anything in my email either. Oh, they haul the water in. That's crazy. So they got the off-grid power, and then they're hauling in water. How often do you gotta get water in there? I mean, how often is the water gotta get replenished? I've been down to Mexico, and I see they do that a lot for some commercial buildings. I don't know if you've seen that, Chris. You seen that where they go around and they have those big like trailers with the water, and then they come and then they basically like.
Give you water?
Yeah, they use like a giant kind of like a fire hose type of thing, and then they
give you water.
Yeah, so I mean, if they're hauling in the water, how often are you having to replenish on water? So hauling in water. I think we have that same service out here. I think I've seen those trucks that go around and they take water places. So I guess that could be one way to go off grid. You find a company that can get you water, so you don't have to dig in the ground and make a well. I don't know. So what do you need? Like a big water reservoir?
Water reservoir, yeah.
Okay, look. So wow. Okay, so they got 600 gallons every 2 to 3 weeks. We have a 3,000 gallon storage tank, and we just keep it topped off. We could go longer, but if we like, okay. So let's say there was an emergency and you couldn't get more water. How long would that 3,000 gallons last you? Like 2 months? I mean, you'd probably be efficient with it. You probably wouldn't be wasting it. And then besides hauling the water in, what other options do you have for getting water? You got to make a well? I would think maybe you got to make a well. That's crazy. 3,000. How much does a 3,000 gallon? I need to figure this out. I need this 3,000 gallon water tank costs. Oh no way! It's like $2,000 online. I thought it was gonna be like 15 grand.
More affordable than I thought.
It's way more affordable than I thought.
It's a good idea.
You can go to Tank Depot and get a
Battery Evo commune. We're all gonna be living off grid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the price? I mean, I'm sure the price would be different to haul in the water, but what is the cost of hauling in water every 2 weeks? Is it equivalent, more or less than just paying the water company to give you water? Oh man, I could just put a water tank. Oh, but then what about drainage? We got to figure out drainage.
Like, where's that water?
Like, where's it gonna go? Yeah, if we're gonna build our own off-grid dwelling here, I mean, I'm sure we could connect to the sewer. It's a hole in the ground, right? You put a hole, put it in, throw it out to the sewer, right?
Yeah.
It's more like, yeah. Okay, this is good. We should just start selling giant plastic water storage tanks. Dude, it's $1,000, $2,000, and then you just gotta find a company who's gonna bring you water. I'm sure it would be pretty costly to get 3,000 gallons of water. How much does water cost? Find out how much water costs. All right, so check it out. So the cost is $12,700 to build their 1,150 square foot house. So even think about it. In sunny Zona, think about this, Nick. All right, it costs him $12,700 to build their 1,150 square foot house, and they haul in the water. At $12,700 divided by a year is a little over $1,000. It's like $1,050. The cost of a 1,100 square foot apartment is already $1,800 a month.
Yeah, bro.
He's hauling in the water. He's got 3,000 gallons. He says he could easily go 3 to 4 months in an emergency. The option for a well, they quoted them for $45K to dig, if they even have water. $20. Grayway can go directly to the ground in Arizona. Blackwater must go in a septic. Okay. I'm familiar with septic tanks. They have a 4-barrel system. You can DIY for a septic. Costs about $500 to DIY a septic.
You just have to get it like cleaned out every so often.
Okay.
Septic tank.
Okay. So think about it. You could just not pay your apartment for 1 year.
Dude, I might need to get in on this lifestyle.
You know, don't pay your apartment for 1 year, and you would have enough money to build a 1,100 square foot in sunny Zona, per se. I mean, obviously the cost would be different here, but it gives you a good gauge. $2,000 for a 3,000 gallon tank of water. You only top it off. You don't even go to zero. You get a couple of battery units, some solar panels. You could probably get a full off-grid electricity setup here for about under 10K. Probably, which is cheaper than what the solar companies are charging for solar installs that are grid tied. So, wow. We're just gonna have to do that.
We're gonna have to get some land out here to start building houses. Dude, I'll live in the battery Evo house.
Me too.
Straight up.
We'll be a couple of farmhands.
Wow, this actually gave us a lot of good information here. But the $20 is what? $20 per gallon? No, there's no way. He says $20, but I'm not sure I don't know what that's.
It says right here the price of water can range from a cent to 10 cents per gallon. So anywhere between $30 to $300.
To fill it up. Okay, so let's say it's 10 cents for so $300 for 3,000.
Yeah.
But that's just the cost of water. There's gonna be a service fee.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Additional fees.
So he's doing 600 gallons every 2 to 3 weeks. So let's just put that 10 cents. So he's spending $660.
Maybe,
That's like less than what I spend in gasoline in my car every week.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm ripped off.
Bro, I'm gonna go
I feel like I got ripped
I'm
off.
gonna go right to the bank right now and get approved to finance an off-grid house.
I feel like yes. Oh no, yeah, he's saying he's $20 to do the 600. So
That's crazy.
I wonder what he would do if he wanted to
20
get
bucks
like
every. That's like
heated
what?
water.
So like he's probably. Doing
I think
like,
that his system heats the water. You're not gonna bring hot water, right?
Yeah.
No.
Jeff, how much do you spend for water? What's your water bill look like?
Like, depends. My kids run the water when they brush the sheet. It's like $100.
Every what month?
Yeah.
So Jeff is spending more money on water every month than what it costs for him to haul in 600 gallons.
Are you live?
Yeah. So Off-Grid Adventure has a completely off-grid water, off-grid electricity. He says he gets 600 gallons worth of water for $20 every 6 weeks.
That's awesome. Can't beat that. 600 gallons is a lot.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So, I mean, how do we go off-grid in Cali? There's no land, huh?
Off-grid?
I mean, here nearby?
Okay, so to go off-grid in California, you have to live in the desert. And when you live in the desert, they have wells. They dig wells, and that's how you go off-grid in California. So they dig wells,
and with the wells they get water, right? And then as far as the electricity, obviously solar panels, battery backup, all that. But to get water is the problem to go off grid in California. If you're not near a water source like a dug well, then you're SOL.
We're gonna go on a little longer just because this off-grid thing is kind of getting me excited, and we're gonna try to see if we can get more people inside this chat. So yeah, he's like, you are ripped off. That's why we decided to move here and do 100% off-grid. We have an on. All right, so let me ask you then. So if where did you move from, and what was the tipping point for you? What was the tipping point that was like, I gotta go off-grid? I mean, I feel like a lot of Californians think about it and we talk about it, but I don't even know if any of us are really gonna do it. I think it's just kind of like that talking banter where we're like, we're gonna go off-grid, but then we never do, you know? What's the tipping point for you, Nick?
For me, it's that I'm not going to be able to afford to rent a big enough place anymore.
Oh yeah, no. It's over, bro. It's over.
Like in December, my lease is going to be up. I'm going to have to find somewhere because they keep raising it. You know?
I know it's like gay, but I saw that.
What was the tipping point? The thing is, for us, if we want to go off grid, we're getting like all the jobs. Oh yeah, that's my other question. Like, what do you do? Do you just live off the land, or do you have a job? Are you working remote? Because think about it now. You could go live in the desert. We all work on computers. Get a Starlink. Off-grid internet.
Can't film the battery production.
That's true. That's true.
I'll drive in once a week.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. Transport. Now, if we could figure out transport, we need hyperspeed rail. Okay, so they were in Iowa. The tipping point was they were tired of paying other people for things we could produce ourselves: power, water, sewer, etc. Wow, what a savage. That's hardcore. I know. Let's play the Country Walrus song just because I got excited about that.
Ground mount. Above ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I got some news for y'all to hear. If you're looking for power, Battery Evo's near. The Walrus, the Kong, and the Rhino too. Take you off the grid, that's what we do. Battery Safari, Battery Safari, Battery Safari. Battery Safari, Battery Evo, saving that money. The Walrus is the one, an all-in-one dream. Solar power flowing like a mountain stream. Buy it once you say.
Alright, so I guess I'm switching out because Jeff wants to be a bully.
Bully you, dude.
Somebody call in and ask for Jeff's 100-meter yard dash time. Please. If anybody can call in and ask Jeff for his 100-meter yard dash. Wait, I'm saying that wrong, right? 100-meter yard? That makes no sense.
Like his time?
The 100-yard dash. If anybody calls in and gets Jeff's 100-yard dash, we'll get him an Amazon gift card. Call in. Call the number and be like, what's your 100-yard dash? Jeff thinks he's the fastest in the office. I don't even think he's top 15, to be honest. I really don't think so. So call in.
You know what? Put Nadine on next time because she's better looking than me.
Oh my god. So we're going to have to switch hosts. We're going to have to switch hosts here. Nadine, you want to jump on? Damn, look, okay, so he sent us the emails about his thing. So see if we can get him. I don't know, we got to find those emails. Get it to Fred and he'll send out an Amazon gift card. So he works for Amazon for Arizona Dot, and the wife works for the school. They had zero internet, local guide to putting his wireless internet tower on a mountain. Wow, they got free internet. Dude, we're paying for internet. He's got a tower. What are you spending your money on, Nick? Tell me. I know you're just spending it on garbage. You're just spending your money on garbage. This guy has water, free electricity, and free internet. You're paying Verizon $40 a month for internet that doesn't even load. I don't know, man. We got to make a change. Let's go to Joshua Tree.
Dude, I want to go to Joshua Tree. That's awesome.
Man, we just don't know what's out there, huh?
We moved the warehouse out there.
We just don't know what we don't know. So tell me, what's it gonna take, Nick? What's it gonna take for you to go off grid? Are you just gonna have to pack up and head out?
Just need somewhere to put the container house. I'm sure there's somewhere like in a 50-mile radius.
50-mile radius for sure, but I mean, you're like, even the cost of land is gonna be pretty high.
Yeah.
You probably got to go to live in what, Palmdale maybe?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You know?
With like a real big bonus, and then I'll go spend that on a
On some land.
We'll
Let's just go ins on it, all of us. If we all put ins on it, we could do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know? And then we just have our own little container houses. We put batteries on them. That'd be good. We're going to look for those emails. We're going to find them.
I couldn't find it. I looked for it. So if he wants to resend
Okay, yeah. Send them in. Send it one more time if you could. And it'll go right to the top of Nick's email. And then we'll try to see if we can get you something out here.
Depending on how far, I mean, shoot, maybe we could do, let's go drive out there with a Walrus, film something out on their off-grid house.
Yeah, huh? So if anybody's just joining now, you can ask questions about the Walrus unit or any battery unit, or how you plan on either protecting yourself from power outages, lowering your bills. We've been talking about off-grid dwellings for a little while now, and how you can do that. You would need a lot of battery capacity to pull it off if you have a lot of appliances, or if you're using a lot of machines to keep yourself off-grid. But it's all about getting spec'd out, right? So as long as you start the process of going down this route, I think that it's, I mean, I just wish you could do it in the city. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's a way to do it, but it's just regulations, you know? You might have to do some sneaky stuff. I mean, who's to say you can't just put some DC panels on your roof?
Dude, do you remember that? I don't know if you saw this. It was like a couple months ago, but there was like a TikToker. She was like building a tunnel under her house. Like, she didn't have the permits to do it. She didn't have like anything, but she was just like, got all this mining equipment. It was just every day going under her house and building this like giant long mining tunnel. Like, basically
That's
doing
ridiculous.
a Minecraft. Like,
In real life?
Yeah. And she got shut down eventually because she was going too viral, because like everything she posted started getting millions of views.
She was like under other people's houses?
Yeah.
That's sketchy.
Yeah.
That is so sketchy. So Frank Swafer, I hope I'm saying that. The website is batteryevo.com, so spelled exactly like our user handle, batteryevo.com. You're watching this on IG. We also are live on YouTube, and we're talking about off-grid dwellings and all that stuff. So you can go, Frank. You can go to the website, and you can check out the unit. And if you're interested in it, we have a deal. But if you call in right now, I still have a couple people here, a couple reps, that if you call in and mention the live, they're going to be able to give you a special deal. Okay, it's a special deal only available when we're on live. Okay, so they'll scrape a couple bucks off there. You're gonna get free shipping because it's Prime deals, and then it's already on special. But again, a couple extra bucks. And if you have technical questions, ask them here. We'll try to answer them. The moderators are on YouTube Live, but if you call in, you can talk to the tech reps there. Okay, so they just sent them back. So they're saying that Cochise County can build anything you want on your property without a contractor. You can build a cardboard house if you want. Permit cost is around $250. You can build whatever you want. Are you on there? You looking at land?
No.
Oh, that's it. Oh, we're seeing it. I did see these pictures actually. The red house. Yeah, I saw this. Let's get this over to Fred and see it. Wow. What other pictures are on there? See if we can get those on our socials.
Pictures. Yeah, let me, I'll forward this.
Do you have any pictures of like or a video of like the solar batteries, the wireless tower?
How long would it take me to drive out there? Maybe we could do like a documentary style thing.
Okay. And then let's see what we can do. Nick's gonna try to figure out if we could do a production shoot. So if you're interested in that, we're gonna figure it out. I don't know how.
We'll figure out something.
I don't know how it's gonna work out, but we could at least start the process because we want to show people how they can do this. You know, people are calling us from the middle of nowhere, and they're basically saying, "Hey, I need something." We created the batteries, and we could spec them out to just about anything. But the issue is that sometimes people have different setups, right? So it's hard to always allocate all the information to everybody if we don't have all the questions, right? We set this up with which would be the most common backup battery type of setup. Like the way you connect this is the same way you connect a gas or diesel generator to your home. So you're using the same type of port. So we already guesstimate that that's going to cover most of the people who need battery backup that do not want to do an AC coupling or grid tied battery backup install. That's going to cover that, right? But some people, you know, they have different setups, different jurisdictions, different regulations, different electrical panels, or different wiring in their home. So by doing this live, people can ask questions, and then we can figure out what people are asking. You know, like people call in, they're like, can I just put like solar panels on my lawn? And it's like, well, it depends where you live, right? In California, I don't think they allow that in most of the city locations like Los Angeles, the San Fernando Valley, San Francisco, San Diego. I don't think that they allow you to put the solar panels out on the lawn like you do out in Texas. So I know a lot of people in Texas and some countryside areas, they can get those brackets, and then they can just basically put a bunch of solar panels and do the off-grid solar thing. But I know, like, let's say you live like in a suburb, I don't think that they're going to let you do that, right? So if anybody knows, like if anybody's doing some type of off-grid install in the San Fernando Valley, in the Los Angeles, you know, let us know how you're doing it. Show us how you're doing it. And, you know, that's going to help us spec out these types of batteries for what you need, for what other people might need, and then we can make the videos and marketing materials for it, right? We don't know what we don't know. Right? My house is solar grid tied, right? So using this is only half the battle. I can lower my bills, and I can protect myself during power outages. But what about if I want to start going off grid, right? That's going to be a conversation I need to have. To, you know, my roof, I have, I think 20 something panels, but they're all grid tied. But my roof still has enough space to put maybe another 10 panels on there. I could probably do a 4,500 watt off-grid solar install on my home, get some more battery packs, and try to maybe offset some of that power load coming from the grid, right? So it's just all about questions. Like, whoever has a question, we will find the answers. So if you're just joining now, the live I let the live go on a little bit longer, but if you're just joining now and you still have any questions or are interested in getting best pricing on these units, call the number on the screen, and we're gonna try to hook you up. I might let it go a little bit longer if anybody else keeps joining. Tomorrow we're gonna try to go live again around the same time. So you'll probably get a text message from us saying we are live. If you want to continue to join the live, if you want to see different things, let us know. Right now I'm just basically sitting at my desk with a battery behind me and a screen. But if anybody wants to see other things, I mean, we have a whole showroom downstairs with battery packs. We have the electrical panel and sub panel downstairs. I can show you how to hook it up. I can show you people hooking it up, but it all depends on what kind of questions people are asking. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be playing the Walrus tracks, right? That's my go-to. Yeah, get us some good stuff, and then we can post that stuff on social. And you know, we want to show people how to go off grid. Otherwise, we're just stuck posting memes on the internet. You know, if we could have real life people doing off-grid setups, that's what we really want to promote, right? Otherwise, we're just going to be doing memes. We'll probably be live for another 15 to 25. Yeah. So call in. We still have some people. But it seems like maybe we're not going to have any more chats. I'm not sure. I'll let this go for a little while longer. Either way, we still have more songs that we haven't played yet. I always like the country ones, to be honest. I feel like the hip hop ones are cool, but I get a little like, I don't know what to expect. You know what I mean? They come up a little strong.
If you're looking for power battery Evos near the Walrus, the Kong, and the Rhino 2, take you off the grid, that's what we do. Woohoo! Battery Safari, Battery Safari, Battery Safari, Battery Safari.
Cliff Murray is saying that he just bought an Arctic, and he's saying, how long does it take to charge with 4,000 watts of solar? So the way you want to do the multiplication is basically divided up by the kilowatt hour capacity that you have. If you have 4,000 watts of solar running in continuously, it should take you from 0 to 100. What's that? Like about, what's the math on that? 4 hours? Yeah, about 4 hours, right? But again, you're not going from 0 to 100, Cliff. So most people always ask this question, how long will it take to charge? Well, it depends, right? It's like your phone. If you got it from 0 to 100, it might take you an hour to fully charge it. But most people are never charging it from 0 to 100. If you have solar, it's just going to be topped off, right? So it's going to deplete while you use it at nighttime, and then whatever wasn't used is just going to continue to go back up. So I anticipate somebody actually, if you scroll up on the chat, they're talking about it. They're fully off-grid. I think it's off-grid Adventure who told us. And then they said that by 10 a.m., they're completely full on charge again. And then remember, the unit has bypass mode. So as the solar's coming in, it's powering your home, and all the extra solar's charging the battery pack. So I think a lot of people get worried about, like, how long is it going to take to charge it? Just think about it like your phone. You know, if it's at 20%, it works, right? The phone works. And then you're not waiting for it to go to 0 before you recharge it again. It gets to 10, gets to 20, you plug it back in, gives you 50, 60% charge, you start using it again. These units work similar, right? You use up the power during the day. You'll only really be using the power during the night, the battery power during the night, because it has bypass mode. And then if you're going off grid, you don't got to worry about power outages because you're not grid tied. Okay? Cliff, where are you located? Where's your city and state? Are you those 4,000 watts of solar going to be off grid, or are they going to be grid tied? I would assume off grid.
Energy machine, run it smooth, keeping it clean. Battery Evo, living the dream. Charge up your EV with ease, fast and simple, doing as we please. From golf carts to homes we seize. Battery Evo, it's a breeze. All grid solutions, we got your back. Solar power, never lack. Eco living on the right track.
Sorry?
Battery Evo, the future's back.
Okay. All right, so we're probably going to wrap up the live now. I'll let it go on for 2 more minutes just so we can hear the tracks. But if anybody still wants to get a deal on these, if they just joined or whatever, if they just joined and want to get a deal, this live is about to cut out. We're going to try to do these more often, at least 3 times a week. We're going to try to go for 5. We're going to make the Battery Evo esports team. So at some point, we'll be able to jump on some video game lobbies with us if you don't want to talk on the phone or text or whatever. You know, we're trying to find the most efficient way to get in front of people who need to start figuring out this power solution thing, you know. As you've all seen on the internet or on the news, the power grid can go out. You know, time's gonna be tricky, time's gonna be scary. You know, wildfires could cause power outages, storms, hurricanes. You know, we just saw what's happening in Texas now. Again, if you're in Texas or know anybody who's in Texas who's experiencing those power outages, call in, get a unit for them, call in, and try to get a unit, and we'll try to get you some power out to you. Battery packs are a great way to avoid having to use gas or diesel as a fuel source. If you can get, remember, we can get you some off-grid solar panels through our partners. And that's going to be the best way. Oh, Huntington Beach, California. I was just looking at a manufactured home out there. But then I found the manufactured home was a great deal, but I just found out that the lease, so the home, Chris, the home is only $1,999 in Huntington Beach, right? It's a manufactured home. But now, I thought that was great. And I was like, I'm moving there tomorrow. To lease it is $3,300. So because you know how manufactured home, you're in like a manufactured home lot. Like a lot. So the lease is $3,300 for the lot. The unit is $1,999. $199,000.
The lease is every
month.
Also then.
So you're basically gonna pay like $4 or $5K. So Huntington Beach lives in a 2-person house. He's gonna go. I have a gas oven, so gas oven's great. Stove, water heater, also 4-ton AC, 4,000. So remember, you're gonna try to run as off-grid as possible. As they said up in the chat before, you want to get a soft starter. Get a soft starter because that's a very large AC unit. That 4-ton AC is very, very large. Okay, so you're gonna get one of these. What did they call it? It's up here in the chat. It's called Air. Oh man, I just saw it. I gotta scroll up. It's in the chat. If you scroll up, you'll see it. They called it Airsoft Starter or something like that. What that's gonna do is basically it's gonna reduce the load of the AC so that it doesn't have a large push of a large push of electricity coming out, because when those 4-ton ACs turn on, the power units themselves will to protect the battery, it shuts down because it doesn't like a large surge of power coming in, because again it has to do with protecting the battery. So you want one of these soft starters. It was called Airsoft. There you go. Oh, he has a soft start. Okay, perfect. Okay, so Cliff kind of seems like he's the kind of person who did the research. So we were just saying how you probably can't go off-grid in California. He's trying it out in Huntington Beach. How expensive is it in Huntington Beach? If you could just let us know. You don't have to tell us exactly, but it's like one of those YouTube videos where they're like, how much do you pay for your place? Yeah. I got so excited on that manufactured home. I hit up my real estate agent so fast. I hit up my real estate agent so fast. She hits me up with the lease is $3,300. I was like, well, maybe.
Like what? Do they have like things in the lot that you can do or something?
I think so. I think yeah, but I just think it's just the
just because the location probably.
The location. It's right on the beach too, but it's a manufactured home, so the home isn't expensive. Jesse, you're still gonna be on the live moderating? You gonna be here? Okay, because people are looking for deals. So if you call in, yeah, Micro Air. There you go. Our off-grid adventure saving the day again. Micro Air. What did I say? I said Microsoft. I don't know what I said. Call in. We still have some reps, and we'll be able to get you a deal if you still want something, or need something, or you need to talk to a technical rep. Just let me know. It's not the most it'll take, no. So what you wanna, so 4,000 watt is the most the Arctic will take. I think we recommend 4,500 watt. You could do a little bit more. The thing here is that what you want to be mindful of is the voltage. Okay, so the PV input is rated for 90 to 230 volts. Okay, so when you run those off-grid panels in series, you do not want to exceed the 230 volt PV inputs. Okay, so when you're running them in series, that's what you want to think about. So find out what the voltage is on your solar panels is, and when you run them in series, you're going to multiply the voltage by the number of panels you have. That should give you your total voltage. Now, if you're like, hey, I want more solar, come back. Because you already got an Arctic, get a Walrus G2 or an Atlantic or maybe another Arctic if we have enough. And then you can get more solar into these units, and by using another all-in-one, you create a more efficient system. So I'm not sure if anybody here has gone to like those apartment buildings you're driving by, or like a commercial lot, and then you drive by like the electrical stuff, and they have like a whole bunch of electrical panels. It's because they're trying to split up the electricity, right? Because it's like if I have one big main electrical panel for a 400 unit apartment, obviously it's not going to be efficient. So they split up the load. Right, so that's basically what you'd be doing with the Walrus units. You know, they're generally not that big anyway. So if you wanted more solar, and you wanted to create an efficient system, yes, you can get more solar into these. But it's the voltage that you're looking to do. Let me see if you like, for example, if you did 1,000 watt panels. Look, for example, there's 1,000 watt panels here that are 12 volt. So Sardar, is my math correct here? If I get some 1,000 watt panels, okay, at 12 volt, and if I run 230 divided by 12, oh wait, no, sorry, wrong math. 230 divided by 12, 19. So let's say I get 18 panels will get me 216 volts, right? So 18 12 volt panels will get me 216 volts.
216
volts. Correct? So that's within the PV range. Now, if they're 1,000 watts, that's 18,000 watts.
But it's up to you how to connect it, man.
What do you mean?
If they're connecting all in. It has to be how they connect it. Then why do we know the zero voltage and current doesn't match? It doesn't work for our system.
Okay, if they're running them in series.
All series? If it's all series, then the voltage will stay. No, the voltage will be sums up, and current will stay same.
So what?
So they play with this all parallel and.
Oh, so they got. Oh, okay. So they got to mix and match, kind of.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. 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 So yeah, the fact is that it can take more solar, right? It's just going to depend on how you wire up your panels. If you're going to do the wiring, call in and see if you can get a technical rep on there. Oh, he sold it on the patio. With bifacial, so he's got 10 Aptos 370 bifacial panels up to 485 with bifacial gain. This is getting a little technical on my end. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I've ever heard any of these words. I think that the best setup for you here is like call in the tech reps and then be like, look, this is what I have. They can look at the specs for you and then tell you what's the best wiring solution for the Walrus. Maybe give that a shot here. But I mean, I think 4,000 watts is okay. You could definitely do more, right? It just depends that you do not exceed the PV input. That's really just what we're really trying to do here. So I think we're ready to shut down here, right? All right, so we're gonna shut down the live. Thank you for joining and asking questions. I mean, it's gonna be helpful to other people looking to do similar stuff. And you know, we're gonna be letting people know that we're on this live. If you've already seen the live and don't want to see the live anymore, that's okay. You know, it won't hurt my feelings. It's just a way to try to help, right? But if anybody's bored of this setup, let us know. Hey, this thing sucks. I hate this live so much. We'll make adjustments. I will make adjustments, okay? And you just gotta let me know. Otherwise, thank you for joining. If you need anything, call in and then be like, YouTube Live, I saw it. I heard the Walrus tracks. They're gonna give you a deal. Otherwise, I'm gonna shut this down and then you guys can wait for the other YouTube Live. Prime Day deals will go on tomorrow and perhaps maybe they'll have an extension day, but I don't know, so don't quote me on it. So try to get your deals in as fast as you can because people also missed the 4th of July sales and now they're calling in and say, I want the 4th of July deal, but that was the 4th of July deal, right? So if you call in and mention the YouTube Live, we can get you the best deal possible. So that's why you should take advantage. If you can't buy right this second or today, call in and try to lock in the pricing because they can reserve a unit for you at the YouTube Live price, okay? So I guess that's it. Nick, you can cut the feed if you want. Thank you.